before we do get started today. If you know someone who wants to play in a GMeric game, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them about either getting on the wait list for a campaign slot or getting into a one-shot. I do have a one-shot coming up on May 31st, but it is sold out. So come hang out on May 31st. We are going to be hosting Bubble Laser, who is an artist who does a ton of our art. So come hang out. It's going to be a good time. And we have amazing players who have purchased those tickets and are going to be participating. We also have the Patreon over at patreon.com/GMEric. Go check that out. That's where we do announcements and sneak peeks of art, etc. So go check that out. Speaking of early announcements over there, we announced that we are now selling 3 different kinds of dice. We are now selling the Mosaba dice, which is the Blood God. We also have the Snowflake Sparkle dice, and we have the Frost Blood dice, now available over at gmeric.com. Those are in the store, so go check those out. They're also on the front page, so check that stuff out. But let's get you guys started, because it's time for you guys to play some D&D, and that's why you came over here. Alrighty.
Indeed.
So, you guys are adventuring in the lands of Toivoa. Most recently, you were here in the town of Nausha, where you had come to restock and reset after a significant battle with the dragon Segeos. You've managed to do a little bit of research and investigation into the world around you after having been gone from the town for quite a few weeks. You've returned to the corn cob stand in order to get all reset. Coin's entrepreneurial establishment has proven to be a safe haven from prying eyes. Last week you managed to get a visit from Rafinas, who asked Saison to abide by his word in acquiring the skull of Trunith. So, the question becomes, as you were about to teleport outwards, I believe we actually rolled the teleportation. I'm going to double check that.
I don't
No, we did
think
not.
we were leaving yet.
You did
I
not.
think we were
Yep.
going to have a long rest and then
Yep. So,
figure the plan next day.
we find you guys currently at the corn cob stand. What would you guys like to do?
Indeed. Good question. Well, top of the bracket. I have to check my own notes on this, but we have a week to find this onyx skull. So that is the most time-sensitive matter. There is also the matter of Mary Way, but that one is specifically is going to take a bit to do.
Yeah.
How many days passed in the last session?
1.
1?
Okay.
I think it's negative 1.
I don't want to count them.
Don't worry
Yeah,
about that.
Bryn, you are the only surviving member of the Toivoan Trainwreck?
Allegedly.
Not true.
Oh, first of all, we didn't die. We were going to die. There's a very distinct difference.
Correct.
Okay, Eric, that's non-canon. It's so it doesn't
It is
matter.
canon, it just got
No, it
reset.
is canon. It just got reset. Yeah.
That's a different world that doesn't
I don't
exist
know.
anymore. So it
If
might
I-
as well
if I-
not be brought up.
If I write a chapter and then I use an eraser to get rid of it, I don't consider that erased chapter to be canon.
Fine.
That's solid. That's solid.
And that is my argument.
So, Bryn,
This is good logic.
Yes.
your party was about to be crushed under the weight of many, many hundreds of feet of water.
Oh, really?
And then they used the chrononacrum key to save themselves.
Okay, that seems like a reasonable thing to do in that situation.
This is what happens when you leave us for a week.
All right.
Yeah, no,
just
I
just Dave is saying nothing happened because
Okay. I asked because Bryn has no carrying capacity for the next 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, that's the
You-
biggest issue. It's the fact that Bryn is.
So-
I hesitate to say useless, but
Yeah.
you know,
Well, no,
not,
it's
not
just
useful.
my strength score. Is
We
that
just
all my
need to
Also, you
carry
can't
him
cast
like a
spells,
puppet.
right?
backpack?
Or you can, but you will take a lot of damage.
That's just till the end of the day, I think. It's. I
Oh,
think the
okay.
only thing that lasts is the strength score being 3, or
Bad.
So yeah, I'm fine. I just I can't. Notably, I can't wear my breastplate or carry my shield, which means that my AC is just going to be 13 for a while.
I think we should draw straws on who gets to carry Bryn like a backpack.
Can I not draw
I
one?
have some ideas.
I can carry
The rest
myself.
for us to look at our
Well, you
changes.
can, but why would you, given this great opportunity for fan art?
Can we just throw them in the bag of holding?
See, that's why we need another bag of holding, so that we can have a Bryn bag, a Saphira bag, a bag
Hey,
bag.
wait, don't put a bag inside the bag.
No, well, not a bag, a bag just for bag purposes, not for putting bags in it, you know.
Wait, but
Oh,
if
and
it's
a
a bag
gold
just
bag.
for bag purposes, then isn't it a bag that's filled with other bags?
Well, is a bag purpose filling it with bags or just filling it with general items? I guess that depends.
Call it a general item bag then.
Yeah.
Someone give me the bag of holding so I can
Yeah,
scream
right,
into
salute
it.
Yeah, don't scream at Saphira.
She
Wait,
walked
why do
here.
you scream at the bag of holding when you got another you to scream at?
Well, I would never scream at that beautiful bastard. Thank you.
Didn't you two screaming at each other no less than like 10 minutes ago?
That was a gentleman's disagreement. They both say in unison.
Okay, gentleman's disagreement. Huh.
Oh yes, Brent. There are now 2
Totally.
C-toed coins.
No,
Really?
there's one
How did that
C-toed
happen?
coin.
True. 1 C-toed and 1 C2
They
toed.
toed cash.
C-toed cash.
That was
Oh,
cash
did
and
you-
coin.
Cash.
Was
and
there a,
coin.
a simulacrum that got made?
Yes.
There was indeed a simulacrum.
E2'd cash.
They have different
We made
pants,
him
so you
run the
know
phone
which.
Cobb while we're gone.
Yeah, I'd
Oh,
actually say Cash
when
would
we-
probably wander off. Go ahead, go ahead.
Did the party go back to? This is not important. I'm just curious. Did the party go back to the island?
We
Yeah.
tried to.
So
Attempt.
we need to go get the skull. That's where we need to go.
Okay. I asked because Bryn was going to try and recover Salty Season's sunglasses if they were still there.
Okay, well, good news and bad news, Brent. Good news, we have business. We plan to go back to the island. Bad news, we don't have the Chrononacrim key, so either we wait 2 days to get that back, or we be very cautious on how we go there.
Well, is the island? I mean, without Sigeos, so are we worried about like trying to teleport there? And if the teleport goes wrong, we're just like we all die. Is that the problem? Because I think the island's not as scary now that Sigeos is dead.
I'm not so worried about the landing if we do it right, but if things go awry there, there's no get out of jail button currently.
Okay. Well, that's is what it is.
That said, I think
Can wait,
I think
but
we'll
I
be fine.
do hesitate because if someone picks up the skull, that's when issues are going to start arising.
yeah.
Well, it should be evening now. Do we want to at the very least rest and then go out tomorrow morning?
Is it an option to locate the skull and then just call Rafinas and be like, here it is, come get it?
She
Is
doesn't
that-
strike me as the person to pick something up herself.
Was that
That's
not
know,
the
like,
She
plan?
wants it, right?
We have to.
Yeah, but she'd like
babysit her?
call out for her laundry, you know?
I mean, I think if we teleport, above the surface, I think we can just start turning rocks over and take it from there.
All right.
We have
I'm gonna
anything-
add Bryn's equipment that he cannot carry to the bag of holding. Oh, it's very fancy and color coded now. Well done.
Just make sure that we're not overweight.
That's a good question. Do we have like a list of? I'm looking for like really heavy stuff, and
Saphira.
besides Saphira,
What is?
Oh, yeah, we
How much
stole a bunch
do
of our
you
stuff,
have,
by the way.
Bryn?
my backpack weighs 32 pounds, and then my breastplate is another 20 pounds, and my shield is 6 pounds. I can carry the remainder of my equipment despite my low
You
strength.
can just mark off that I'm carrying the rest of it.
Okay, I appreciate that.
That way, like, you don't have to put it in there. I have a
Okay.
carrying capacity of like 400, and
Okay.
I have 90 on me.
All right, no complaints. It will be canon henceforth that. Oh, the only other thing is the Orb of Dragonkind. Is that where? What is the status
Oh,
of that?
I have that. We have a standing offer to pass it over and have it safely disposed of or safely hidden. But I wanted to talk with the group before we decide what to do about that.
Oh, okay. I'm asking just because it's on my character sheet. Should I remove it? From
I'm
my
I'm
character
holding
sheet?
that.
Okay,
Yes.
I will take it off my character sheet. Cool.
No offense, but
banned
I'm
from
not
carrying
letting
it
you
anymore.
have that.
Oh no, I don't think. Yeah, I think tucked away and nobody. I think nobody should have that. But so
Currently,
Bard-
I'm the
Bard-
only one authorized to carry cursed items, except for Saphira in very limited cases.
Terrible.
All right. Cool.
I operate
So
under
my
the assumption
backpack
that
is just.
she gives
on-
herself that permission.
Yeah, well, she didn't really ask. We know that much, but it turned out for the best this time. Okay, so do we want to then rest for the night? Anything people need to do? Freshen up spells and then head out early tomorrow?
That sounds
Say so.
good.
Be ready.
Yeah.
Alright, I need to change my spells just a tiny bit.
Let's see. Is there a? Just go to my notes on the character sheet.
Perfect. Yeah, we also sold a bunch of the items we found. I'm assuming you didn't watch everything. So
Yeah,
what
that's fine.
we kept the wings, the sigil, which we could try and use the sigil to teleport, but I hesitate to do that because could kill us. And Corin is holding the claws, of course.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
So, can we mark off a long rest unless anybody has anything to do beforehand?
We do technically need to figure out our next ship situation, but that one is not quite as pressing. I think we just prepare for a teleport tomorrow.
Agreed.
Can we briefly summarize if Bryn did nothing except like resting and light activity, the day counts double. Towards my getting over the wish. Did Bryn come with you?
He did
To
not.
the-
He was the only surviving member because he was inside the magnificent mansion. He has done nothing.
Oh, perfect. Lovely. Okay, so that counts. So it's been effectively 3 days then instead of 2. The day that Bryn was freaking out about the orb, we're not counting that as a relaxed for obvious reasons. So
Does it count as like 5 days though if we did this whole day and then we did it all again?
No. Nice try.
All right, cool.
See y'all in the morning. I'm gonna go talk to myself.
That would be an
Anyway.
amazing experience.
It happened
you
last
should
week.
watch
They're
that.
just gonna
You
count.
should watch the episode.
You need to watch the episode. It happened for the better part of like 40 minutes. It was great.
Yeah, I ate up a lot of RP. I won't lie.
Amazing.
You will hear Coin and Cash gentlemanly arguing on names for the establishment. You hear one of them yelling cornhole and the other yelling cash hole. And they can't seem to come on to agreement on what it's going to be called.
I love them each using their luckies to try and argue their point.
Yep.
Yeah, the simulacrum used all of it. It's luckies.
Who doesn't get them back?
Nope.
Unlucky.
Yeah, we're literally. But yeah, that's what he and they will be up to. Of course, you can pull them out if you ever need them. But personally, I'm ready for jumping to the morning and dealing with the teleport. But if anyone has business in town, now would be a decent time to do it.
I am ready to go. My only other question is there a powerful magic item? I have a free attunement slot again now that I'm finally free of the stupid orb. Also, I apologize to Anthony for gaslighting you repeatedly when you were asking me why I wasn't gonna unattune from it. I know it was in character, but I still felt bad.
No, you have nothing to apologize for. You did it so well, and you did it so well that I was so convinced that you were possessed by it, but I just couldn't spend the time to deal with it because we were always close to dying. It was truly flawless.
Thank you. I appreciate that. There were valid arguments for keeping it, so it was easier than it was frighteningly easy to argue it and not be caught.
The biggest flag was Bryn has never had an opinion that strong before. He's normally kind of easy to convince one way or the other.
Oh man. Anyway, on that, I just bring it up that I have a free attunement slot now.
I think we gave you the time stop for Nacrum key.
Yeah, if
for you to attune to. I think Tom passed that back last session. I
can take either of the useful Chrononacrum keys. I'm sorry, Tati, the second one is just not useful.
Could be wrong. That's all right.
So yeah, I'll take the third one or the first one if I just don't want to deprive somebody else of it if they had enjoyed using it.
I think you're good.
All right.
Yeah, I think it was passed back to you, so it seems good.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I'll add Chrononacrum Key 3 to my inventory and attune to it overnight.
Cool.
Oh, feels good to be fully powered up again.
You mean not cursed? Hey, we can actually heal you now.
I really thought, and I was actually kind of hoping he would, because I think it would be extremely cinematic. I was hoping that Eric would have one of the death wards just not work at a really inopportune time, because Bryn, I think I mentioned it once, just like feel free to have the death ward fail, because Bryn is technically not supposed to be able to cast spells from the dragon orb if because he doesn't control it, and but the orb was just letting him the orb was just letting him cast the spells to maintain the illusion that he was in control of it, and so it would have been extremely bad for us, but also very cinematic if a death ward had just not worked at a really inopportune time. So I was really worried about that, and I'm glad to have the time stop back because that's just really strong.
I'm just glad to have the Dragon Orb in play for a future campaign.
Yeah, we sure are carrying this. Like, what should we do with this? Let's just find like a level 1 campaign and hand it off.
Yeah, what's the worst that could happen?
Wait,
it's so early in the session. Please
don't curse another campaign with that. If we want to say it about ourselves,
let them get in trouble themselves.
Look, there's a solid chance it would be us.
I was like, yeah, that would just end up in our next group. Yeah. Well, I'm ready for the night.
Okay. Cool. Everyone. Yes, ma'am.
No, I just as y'all go to sleep, I notice I'm carrying some things that maybe should have been in the bag of holding. I don't know if anyone's interested in a necklace of the devout +3 ring of evasion.
I think I took that necklace of the devout.
You got
I think
the necklace?
that's what I'm wearing.
All right, I'm gonna get this off my sheet then.
I think oh no, I sold the other one. Never mind. Yeah, that's good. The ring of evasion though, I kind of forgot we had that.
Are you wearing the cloak of displacement?
I am. Yes.
Okay, get that off my sheet too. Cool. I have a bunch of money. I have an IOU from Coin. That's fun.
Oh yeah, Walker, if you weren't here for it, Coin tallied up the money Everyone technically has an IOU for, I want to say 1,700.
1700.
Obviously, you can go from the full pile and use what you want, but in character,
Okay. Good to
that
know.
that is Bryn's portion allotted.
Appreciate it. I'll add an IOU for 1,700 gold to my inventory just for the.
May
for
as
fun
well.
of it.
Yeah.
Something we also should point out to you, it probably isn't relevant, but Judith does have a Staff of Power currently in the shop, which is expensive as hell, but is a very powerful item. If you ever want to go check that out.
Staff of Power. That feels like a very strong. Let me see what that is real quick, just so I can be shocked and amazed by it.
It's amazing and
Very
unaffordable.
rare. +2 bonus to attack and damage rolls. +2 bonus to armor class saving throws. Holy shit. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. 20
It's
charges.
pricey, but it might be worth it if we could make the money happen.
How pricey are we talking? I mean, as the saying goes, if you have to ask.
I think it was 95,000.
Like 90k, 95k.
Okay, that's attainable. Like it's a lot of money, but it's like
We have like 70k,
this
like
is
altogether right now.
This is extremely strong, but also I have enough cool stuff that I don't feel I need to be the center of attention by spending all of our party's money on something just for me. That being said, if like Oshin wanted it, I absolutely would not object because this is just a stupid source of value for any mage that can wield it. So, yeah.
I think I'll save up for one.
It has one of our favorite spells on it, Wall of Force.
I mean, yeah, there's so many good spells.
So many great spells to use.
Oshin having the Oshin, what's the status of your Rod of Absorption? I believe it was mostly spent.
Yeah, I had to double check. I have 10 levels that I can still absorb in it.
Okay, that's not bad.
It goes to 50 and I have 40 stored.
Yeah, that's still worth carrying, I think. Awesome. Cool. I'm down for putting a lot of money into the Rod of Power just because it's cool. And
Worth it.
like my attunement plots are already great, so I certainly don't need it for myself.
Brennan Rusi,
Wanna
you've
say
been
your
great
strength?
inspiration.
Yay, thank you.
Like a negative score, you can, since you didn't lose the ability to cast Wish, you can just wish for the remaining 25k and we could buy it right now.
No objections.
I'm objecting. That seems like
One objection.
A terrible use for a wish spell is just for fast cash. There are.
Hey, Wish, where did I leave my keys?
I like that you're not wishing for your keys back either.
We already have a fast cash, Bryn. He's right over there.
It
2 points.
It is one of the basic uses. Actually, no, it's not a basic use. Yeah, you would get cooked if you tried to do that. Potentially.
But it would work.
It would work.
Guaranteed work, but
It would
but
guaranteed work, but you would still have a chance of being unable to cast Wish ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's only like 1 in 3. What are the chances that even happens?
Well, that's why I told Bryn to do it and not myself.
Why would you need to cash Wish again after you did that, though?
That's true.
Plus, if you got a bunch of
Okay, 25,000 gold is a lot of gold, but it's not so much gold that we never need to get gold ever again.
It depends on where you live. Choose the correct lifestyle.
Compound interest.
It's called living within your means, Ruzit. Which I will not do.
Coin,
to live within someone
I'm
else's
half dragon. When have I ever wanted to live within my means?
Good point.
I'm going to bed.
Your means are pretty extensive.
I mean, you're half dragon, so do you half of the time try to live within your means?
No, the other half is like also wanting to live above my means.
I grew up in a tree. Being with this party, I've already had more money passed through my hands than I've seen in my life.
That's not true. Like, that's literally not true. You're living your life.
Adi, he meant life before adventuring. Come on.
I mean, that's not what that means, though.
It's implied.
No, I mean, everything you've seen in your like that means something, and he used it to mean not that.
Well, sometimes we say things that we don't actually mean.
Yeah, it's really annoying.
Are you referring to your oaths to Oshin? That's a long silence.
No, I love him. No. What, is
The nice thing about oaths
with us?
is that even if you don't mean them after you say them, they become fact.
Oh, Oshin's in the room with us right now, right?
Where'd you leave him?
He went up to
No,
bed.
I went to bed.
Oh no, he went to bed. Okay, never mind.
So was
Where?
Death Talon on the flight risk?
That's
Where
it.
else would he be?
Yes, he
Or,
was.
Interesting. Okay.
It would have
You
made
okay?
sense. We had him on the voyage. There was not a point where we specifically unloaded Death Talon, which leads the assumption to be that they are many depths under now.
I don't think that's accurate.
How good?
Death
How
Talon.
good are they at swimming?
Death Talon escaped from a continent of dragons, and Sigeos, and that punk, whatever his name was.
Anthony.
How good is Death Talon at swimming and not blowing up?
So far, really good.
Maybe we should do like ascending on Death Talon. Just you listen for a squawk.
I need a couple more levels of cleric to make that happen.
It's rough.
I'm sure I'll see him again one day.
I mean, maybe we'll find him when we're on the island. Who knows?
In that case, with that in mind, I will refresh Death Talon's equipment.
Okay.
That's a coping mechanism.
I'm not setting it in the cemetery. I'm just, getting new rations and cleaning up his barding.
Should someone tell her? I feel like someone should tell her.
She needs this. Just let her have this.
You guys
Taki,
go to
do you
bed.
wanna-
I'm gonna clean up Death Talon stuff.
You want to borrow my Pegasus?
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
Have you seen Death Talon? He's so much cooler than your Pegasus.
when was the last time you saw Death Talon?
It was a while ago.
My favorite part is you
See
guys
him in
literally
my
left him on
memories.
the boat.
Because I didn't want it, yeah.
Yeah, to keep him safe. Aren't we glad we did that?
No, so that he would have plenty of people to eat.
Coin has been like yelling from the back room into this conversation, but he will completely walk out back to the party and he'll say like, "Did Rafinas tell us anything about like what to expect of the Onyx Skull? Like, is it?"
I think she knows jack shit about it, other than it exists and she wants it, and probably what she can use it for, but not much more than that.
I bet you she knows a lot about it and just doesn't like telling us things.
Maybe we
Actually,
bring
that's
a
much
pair of
better explanation.
Hang on, didn't we learn something about it? Like it was a piece of like a dead god when
It was-
this
it was
initial
a
conversation happened.
Piece of a dead demon, maybe devil, I think demon, who was working under, I think, a higher demon and did something to piss him off, and so he got cursed and turned into an obsidian statue, and then his body's gone missing / destroyed over time, but the head still exists, and she wants the head so she can use magic to ask it some questions. We don't know what questions. We made an agreement that we'll get it for her, and I'll sit in on the meeting to hear what she says and asks, but I'm not allowed to tell anybody what she asks. And it says, I guess.
Good memory.
No, I am still really concerned as to what she wants to ask him, because generally when people are turned into obsidian, it's because they might have some good information and people are trying to hide that. So I'm still concerned about this.
Have you seen someone turned into obsidian before?
I
That's
grew up in the
wicked.
Feywild. Yes.
That's right, your people are crazy.
Ask who.
Little Tommy.
Understood. Thank
Actually, a troll that lived under a bridge nearby.
That sounds awful.
He was not so little.
Reason 182 not to go back to the Feywild. Got it.
I'm telling you, you just need to go to the right areas. Some parts are very nice if you're very careful and keep your head about you and travel in a group, but not too big a group.
And if you stay away from the Fey.
I'm right here.
I know. But that's...
Everyone ready to go to bed?
Yeah, that seems fun.
Do it.
All right. As
You're
you-
going to hear Cash and Coin argue on who gets the bucket all night.
How did you not buy a second bucket already?
Didn't come up until the stores were closed.
That's failure to plan. You guys should share.
wanna ask the hat for a bucket?
Maybe. I don't think it would fit. Like it's not gonna come out.
There once
I
was a
thought
man
use the
from
bucket.
India
Collapsible bucket.
who wanted to sleep in a bucket.
Pick a lock or smash a window.
Okay, you get the
It's
bucket.
excessive for a bucket. No, Coin, we're not breaking in places for a bucket. Come on.
Of course not.
Especially because they're probably outside the places already.
It's fair.
The quality bucket I want, you wouldn't be able to break into that establishment anyways.
Where exactly
I want
is
to
that?
see that bucket. Let's go find that bucket right now.
I'm just saying, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna break into some rinky-dink joint just for, a 2-bit bucket. I want the top shelf stuff.
So you're gonna go to Judas?
When you reach the top shelf,
That's just gonna go to
Sticky
Judas. I'm not running errands for him. But I'm literally exist to run errands for you. But you won't do one for me? Yeah, you're pretty much up to speed, Cash. Cash gives a thumbs up. With like a very neutral grimace on his face.
I'm gonna walk over you two, reach in your bag, take out the gem of discretion and activate it next to the two of you, then walk away and start meditating in the corner.
I'm sorry. What is if
start
the gem of
complimenting each other.
discretion is supposed to be an inane conversation that no one can pay attention to? What is it covering up right now?
I was getting too involved in this one.
Need another filter on this. They're just gonna be complimenting each other's maps. Which are the same map. Just complimenting the same map 2 different ways.
Ladies and gentlemen, narcissism.
Yeah.
All right. So, you guys can get the benefits of a long rest.
Grazie.
You will wake up in the morning, fully rested.
As a reminder, you guys probably already have it, but you'll get 23 temp HP from... Now, Eric,
Yes.
technically I know I'm pushing. Technically he gives like a rally cry at the end of a rest. There are 2 coins, so there are 2 rallying cries.
Nice try.
Okay.
I appreciate the
Only
attempt,
23,
Bravo.
guys.
So
Only
we get to
23.
choose who we get our rallying cry from. That's what I heard.
Well, isn't it temporary HP? So even if you did do 2 rallying cries, it wouldn't stack anyways.
Correct.
I
But
suppose so.
if they resonated with each other, then it wouldn't be 2 separate sources. It would just be one doubled source.
There's also the
it
argument
could be
that
destructive interference.
Let's fact check that statement.
well, hang on. I'd also like to argue against it with using the argument that you're only allowed to be affected by a spell or ability once. Like you can't cast haste on someone and then have someone else cast haste on you again and have double haste.
You can also only have one source of temporary hit
Temp
points.
HP. Yeah, the temp
I'm
HP has
saying that
rule as
coin and
well.
cash are the same source.
They are not the same
Now-
source. Nice try. Sorry, Brahmi.
They look
There's-
exactly the same to me.
Very
There's
philosophical.
That's
also
racist.
Now where
Take those
now
pants
where,
off.
where
We heard
the
Tati
workout
say it.
is that
What were you saying, Hermanos?
where wood workout is like if you have more creatures you're trying to inspire than you have like than the feat allows for. So
Yes.
actually, which I think it's 6 anyway. So like I think we actually do need that in order to get all 7 of us.
So
I like-
who's taking
like-
the inspiration from Cash?
I like to think that both of their like inspirations like are two completely different things, so they're trying to work together, but it's like we can do this because we're doing great, everybody, because and they just keep clashing back and forth.
They finish each other's.
It's the opposite. Of, I was just gonna say the
Yeah.
opposite of twins who finish each other's sentences.
Instead of doubling it, I feel like there's a chance we end up with no temp HP because they just talk over each other the whole time.
They
I think
cancel
that's
each other out.
legitimate, yeah.
We're gonna go in there and nothing's gonna go wrong. And when something goes wrong, we get back. Well, nothing's gonna go wrong. Well, yeah, but if it does. And then after 2 hours, you get 23 temp HP.
Oh, nice.
Wait, why are you giving a speech about a place you're not even gonna go with us?
I like to
That was
be
a
involved.
dash.
In a way, I'm kind of your #1 fan now, like as a group, like
No,
de
Colin's my
facto.
#1 fan.
And I'm Cash, who is Coin, effectually. So I kind of run your fan club here. So just let me have this.
Okay.
Cash will retreat to the back to a makeshift desk. Coin will go to the front. He's standing by the door, prepared to teleport or travel wherever.
So this
party
time we're
wishes.
not going to teleport to the bottom of the ocean, right? We're going to scry first.
We'll find out.
So we're going to
Can any of
teleport to
us
the bottom of
scry?
the ocean.
I can't scry.
Can anyone else scry? Maybe.
Our party is famously short on scrying.
There is
We're
one way
famously
to
short on a
scry.
lot of things.
We used our scroll from the hat to find Saphira when she was kidnapped.
No,
by
I
the
wasn't
Mother.
talking about it that way.
What way?
What?
Casting the wish spell.
We're not casting the wish spell for that. That's excessive.
Why
But
do
it
you
is a
say that
way.
every time.
Just saying.
I mean, if we just teleport to the island, that should be fine, right?
Do we know if there are any landmarks? I mean, there's that pond.
For all
I
we
don't
know, the
know.
island's also deep underwater now.
Maybe we should avoid anything remotely water-based. Do we like any statues we can recall?
We were told it's still there, but there was some amount of explosion / things collapsing. So we don't know quite how things are, but we were told the island still exists.
You think you could aim
We
for
discovered
like?
something from the island.
Could you aim for like
Yeah,
25 feet above Sageos' throne?
I feel like we're gonna get teleported in the air and fall really far.
Okay, but that's preferable to being under the rubble.
Does anyone
guy
have a
that doesn't
feather
take
fall
fall
ready?
damage.
Do we have feather fall ready to go? Like that's the decider here.
I mean, I'll be on a Pegasus,
Oh.
so you guys do you.
And
Okay, thanks for the
I
help, bro.
No, unironically,
out, like-
you go ahead.
oh, we have the magic carpets.
Ditto. I think we're
we-
safer teleporting in the air and then descending than trying to land anywhere near the surface of this destroyed terrain.
Agreed. If that's something we can do.
Wait, why am I complaining about feather falling? I can fly too. And really kind of
Yeah.
stretches his wings.
That's what I was
Yeah, I
thinking.
really didn't think this one through. Yeah, you guys figure it out for yourselves.
Wow, you flipped so fast.
Speaking of scrolls, so Eric, how
sir.
common is it to find magic ink to scribe from a scroll?
Not very common to find it, but you can find
Well,
places
I'd
here
like
in
to
town
purchase.
that could sell it. Yeah. You know,
I was
Mr.
gonna ask,
Verm
I've-
here would sell it, and we can just gloss over the fact that you go there and you can purchase up to 2,000 gold worth of magic ink from Mr. Verm. But then he is out of ink for everybody across all campaigns for the better part of the next year.
You're
Well,
welcome,
That's
everybody.
unfortunate for them. I will mark off 2,000 gold.
Understood?
Rough.
Make a note. Mr. Verm is out of magic ink. After his trip to Bourbon to help Sweet August Rose, and now being bought out, he's got a resupply from Ivry. It's going to take months or years, depending on the Awesome Blossoms.
All right. Do we have anything to teleport to the island?
I should be asking you that.
We do have his we got a couple things. For one,
We have his sigil.
Yeah, his sigil, but that might take us to where we were like underground. What other things did we pick up there?
Money, a lot of gold, a lot of these
All
magical
those
trinkets.
magic
Technically,
items that we got. Are we sure we don't want to sell a
Well-
bunch of these and buy that staff before we go?
We did sell a bunch of these, by the way, as a reminder.
Oh.
A bunch of those were sold. All we have
Still
left.
can't afford the staff? Okay, maybe we shouldn't buy the thing. Never mind.
Yeah, it would be.
I technically still have that map I made of his lair. I don't know if it technically originates there, though.
We have like
Information.
that.
Cast it if we're worried about shooting like too far underground. It just improves the chances of getting closer, but
Yeah, I mean, you're familiar with the area at least. You spent some time there, so probably wouldn't be that
Yeah.
bad.
that's true.
Fire
That's
is
the worst
better.
that can happen. And
Oh,
if everyone's close enough, I'll fire it off.
I'm on my Pegasus.
Okay.
Wait, I just forgot. I still need to dump this plate on.
So this Pegasus appears here in the corn crop stand.
I had already summoned it earlier,
Understood.
last session, so
Yep.
it's just going to come in at this point.
Understood.
Hope you
So-
cleaned up something to clean up after it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do have something. It's called cash.
Oh, there's
My
not.
man.
There's not enough weight in the bag of holding. This is bad
For what?
for plate armor.
Oh. So what are you going to do with it?
Keep it in my inventory.
Okay.
The second pair.
All right. So just sitting in your backpack or just strapped out on the outside?
I guess I'll probably in my backpack.
Does your backpack hold that much weight?
I mean, I don't know of any rules that govern the weight that a backpack can hold. So I
Yeah,
have no
the
idea.
backpack literally has a weight limit.
Okay, I don't know what it is.
It should say it when you look at the backpack. It should say on there.
Oh, that. Oh, okay. I see.
Like
Okay,
the
then it'll probably be
personal
hanging
weight,
on my
yeah.
side for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So you strap it on. All right. Just clang, 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 everybody. Got it.
Well, we're just probably gonna like have this hang on him. He's probably gonna look at Coin and say, "So where can I put this thing before we go?" It's like kind of awkward, and I wanted to sell it, but I kind of forgot
What are you trying to handle right now?
my extra pair of plate because I got a hand me down from Sison.
You could throw it in the bag of holding, obviously, but if you're trying to keep it on your person,
It's too heavy for the bag of holding.
how much weight?
65 pounds.
I might be able to just bag that for you, honestly. I don't tend to carry a lot on my person. Coin's
I
gonna
think
do
it'll fit in your bag either.
No, but he could just tie it onto his bag and carry it around. His capacity is 195 and he's carrying 50.
Okay.
So it's I would consider that coin having armor in terms of weight, but your coin will just like finagle it so that it's sort of tied to the external of his backpack.
Sure. Okay. So
We're just gonna hand over +1 plate to Coin.
awesome. Coin put +1 plate or on your character sheet.
Yeah, I will just note it in the
Thank you.
inventory.
All right. So Oshin, you casting the teleport?
Yeah, I clicked it. for whatever reason, D&D Beyond's just not sending my spells.
That's
to-
perfectly fine. You may need to refresh both windows, but regardless, let's get you to roll 1d100, please. That's 1d00.
Oh, thank God.
0.
Thank God.
And we teleport.
I believe
to
that's the
spawn.
second TPK back-to-back weeks, as you have ceased to exist.
He just
Don't
sneezes
divide.
right as he casts
Uh-oh.
it.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Okay,
sure,
here we go.
Mishap 1.
Mishap is fine. It's just like a little bit of damage is fine. It's the
This is
being
annoying.
on
We get
target is
teleported to a
the-
wrong location.
All right, so
Doesn't this mean we end up really short?
no, each of you are going to suffer 13 force damage,
Yeah, and then you get through the speech.
and
Yeah,
then
doesn't
we
even
roll another
fast.
1d100.
he's right. Something went wrong.
87, and you've seen this casually, so you will be on target. What was the target you were shooting for?
Like I guess where our ship, we got off the ship and like docked.
Understood? Cool. So you will appear here.
Oh, look, the island looks fine.
Wait, are we facing the right direction? Was there always an island on this side?
I don't see an island.
I
see
think we're on. I think
rock.
we're on the beach looking out. is what I think the viewpoint is.
Well, I guess
Eric,
we
is this
should be able
terrain-
to just fly wherever now, right? Because there's not 20 billion anti-air cannons everywhere that are going to shoot us down.
Well, there
They
might still be
out.
there might still be 20 billion anti-air cannons.
Well, allow
wait,
me
how
to
you
do
know?
a little bit of just, not reconnaissance, but Eric, can Coin at a glance gauge that this terrain is that of Sigeus's island? Like geography-wise?
Geography-wise, this does appear to be the same island that you guys assaulted and docked a small rowboat at.
Checks out. We're definitely here, I just don't know what side of it we're on.
So
You are literally where you guys landed.
Oh. I know what side of it we're on.
well, if there's no anti-air cannons, then then I guess we can find out pretty easily. We're just going to start flying up.
Okay.
Oh, Sison was already on his peg. You could have let him go first.
You know
I'll
it's
go
still
first.
hurts when I get hit, right?
I
You want
believe in
someone with
myself.
a shield spell to blank the magic missiles because there's like hundreds of them.
Yeah,
So,
that's
Those were
more
magic,
important.
right? Would physical destruction of the terrain, like, end a magic kind of ward like that?
I don't know. I mean, the source of all the magic was Segeos, so if he's dead,
I suppose.
I took out that ward.
I just didn't know if it was a concentration. Well, by ward, I mean, in this case, the magic bombs that are strewing
well,
the
that's
top
only
of
one
the
way to
canyon.
find out, right?
I suppose so.
Let's go find out.
We're just gonna fly up.
All right.
Bunch.
As you fly up into the air, Ruzid, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw against being blinded by the sheer reflection of all the shattered crystals that are up on top of this plateau.
Constitution.
Yes, please. Shooting for a 14. Yep, you can close your eyes.
Okay.
Nice. Those are probably the crystals we were worried about.
You can squint and see all of the shattered crystals that you were afraid of now litter the entire plateau.
Yeah, it's no longer a no-fly zone, and we're just gonna go back down.
All right, that's good. Saves us a couple hours of walking.
Okay. Who's riding with who?
Yeah, I mean, I'll park car for a while.
I respectively defer to any standing oaths. Reluctantly.
True reluctance. That is true reluctance.
Don't even have death talent anymore.
All right. Ready to take off?
Yeah, are we intending to retrace our steps through are we going above or around, or are we just going the same route we did before? Is the the question to the party.
We could just go for a straight route if we want, yeah. I think most things on this island were summoned by Sageos or were people whose souls he had entrapped. Now I feel like most things will probably be gone. If we wanted to go safe, we could go the other route, but I feel like we could probably fly pretty straight.
I'd say knowing the layout.
Scavengers at this point.
Here's the thing, we're bigger scavengers than most things out there.
That is fair.
And if they're threats, we want to find them.
That's true. This is technically our island. Finders Keepers rules.
Okay, well, Coin's going to hop, attempting to retrace his steps, which I would wager he can do with relative ease, assuming the terrain has not been modified or destroyed too severely, at least in this canyon kind of area.
Sure. You guys want to go down the canyon? Awesome.
Oh, well, I assumed you were going to fly. Coin, are you planning on walking?
He'll walk at the top if that's an option. I just wasn't sure if it was based on the description of the destruction.
Awesome. So you guys can go up on top of the plateau and make.
I just assume it'll also take a lot longer to walk than fly.
All good.
Well, the Coin, you could probably just froggy hop up the mountain in about 2 minutes.
Yeah, Coin can run 200 in a turn. I think he'll keep up.
Yep.
Just because you and armor take forever to run down the canyon.
All right. So as you guys make your way inwards towards the island, towards the core where you expect to find the lair, takes you the better part of an hour before you find yourselves looking over this.
Whoa. Now that's
We didn't see that before.
I have so many questions about how that explosion worked. That's really cool, but what?
It's like a mushroom bomb.
I don't know, it's magic. Weird things happen when there's magic involved.
It looks like we should go soak, I think.
Looks like a hot spring. It seems kind of nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
Maybe too hot.
It's a little cozy
for you. Probably the right temperature
What
for
kind
me.
of, metals are in this water? This is nice.
Can I borrow the Stone of Chronicles? I want to take a snapshot for cash.
I pass over the Stone of Chronicles.
Very thoughtful of you.
Coin is just going. He's going to point out his finger right in front of his own eyes in a first person view, and then upload that into the Stone of Chronicles.
God, I can't wait for someone to access this someday and just get that image.
No context.
Someone's gonna do a cross reference on the island of Sageos and the mighty train wreck, and then just get frog finger in the eye.
At least you get a very true representation.
You're gonna start cooking up that locate object spell now?
Yeah, do we want to just do one once-over, fly around to make sure there's nothing weird happening before I fire off the spell?
Let's go investigate for things.
Good call, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a flyover if anyone wants to join, just to make sure there's no scavengers or weird enemies we should be on the lookout for.
Sure.
Weird enemies, bring on.
So, as you fly out over the water, I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw because of the thermals that are rising off of the water here. It is exceedingly hot. And
forget that, let's do acrobatics checks.
All right. Sayson, I need you to roll your acrobatics check.
Oh, thank you, Tati. That's so much worse for me. Yep.
Sayson, your Pegasus is unable to fly at the moment, and it begins to plummet.
That's cool.
Let's go rescue Sayson.
Again.
How long am I gonna fall for?
You can roll another
Wait,
saving
actually-
throw, or on the next round, you will be taking damage.
It's one thing I want to interject here.
Yes, sir.
Coin would have empty-bodied, presuming that this was like a damaged sort of heat that he could feel.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if it'll do anything, but his intent is to walk across the water below his party.
That's fine.
I just want to establish that in case
Sure.
of what occurred.
Oh, another saving throw, Sason.
Let's do it. I believe.
Leaving. Yep. All right. So you're able to recover before hitting the very hot water.
Cool. Great. I'm going to
How
fly out of
Pretty
hot
is
water.
that recovery though?
Yeah.
Like,
Performance,
you give
please.
him
Performance.
Yes.
I just want.
You know, it's all right.
Oh wow!
No, I'm always basically just falling with style.
That was a cool
So this is
trick.
like Pegasus, like air glides across, like, get this footing, wind in your hair, back into the sky.
Wind in the hair in my eyes, but we're fine.
Oh, he's like
Is there
flying in
anything
like a.
to do to that.
I really was tempted to lie and say yes, but I don't want other people flying over that from their depths. No, it's really hard to fly over that hot water. Also,
I bet I could do it.
you think it's like hot, not like a comfortable hot.
I think he just doesn't want us to one up him.
Yeah, I bet he's just making it sound hard for his
Yeah.
for his own legend.
I think you
That's
should
me
prove it.
famously. No, we just met you. Stop trying to get people killed.
I would like to dive after Saison and also try to be cool.
Okay.
God. If she plummets in there, I'm not going after her.
I mean, if you keep flying around here, you might though.
She makes it look good.
Thing.
Eric, Coin would like
You'll high
to.
five.
Yes,
He's
sir.
walking on the water.
Sure.
He would look downwards. He's trying to see through the surface of the water
Sure.
to get an idea. And I can roll like, is perception fine for that?
Yes, sir.
31.
With a 31 Coin, you can see down through the water. There are dead fish and dead humanoids all in the bottom of this thing. There's rubble from the castle that is currently lining the bottom.
Hmm.
The castle exploded outwards with all of its contents.
There is so much loot down there.
Yeah,
Not
sure, I
intact.
have no idea how we get it. Hey, a melted gold coin's just as good as a regular gold coin.
Listen, I'm all for recycling
I
and.
don't know
It's
why
even better. You can mint them with a different currency.
that's called counterfeiting, but yes.
And it's only counterfeiting if you're making it a copy of something and trying to pass it off as that.
Which
Oh,
is
we can make
literally
our
what
own
minting your own
coins.
coin is.
We mint literally our own coins.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like train wreck gold.
Oh, so
Wait,
Wow,
it's the
you
new
know,
currency I was
all
gonna
of
make
them
when I
be
took
accessible in
over
many
Nausea,
places.
right?
Yeah, although that's out, but we could still use it as reward points for the cornhole.
You can call them coins.
Rolls
It's
off the tongue.
genius.
Cash coins?
No notes.
Coin cash.
2 notes from Tati.
Coin cash.
And
made that
0
actually
from me.
2x coin?
coin bits.
You guys are
sounds
overthinking it.
interesting.
It's all built on the same.
It's just gonna be
Cash coins?
coins. It's gonna be coins, but the S is a dollar sign. There's
Wait,
gonna be
coin
2
cash.
C's.
What's a dollar?
It's a new thing. It's the word that I think I'll call it.
Ah.
Gold dollars.
So that's where I came up with the word. It's inspiration.
I like coin
Did
cash.
you not come up with it from the creature that finds itself in the sand?
Coin
They got
genuinely
their
seems.
name from him.
thinks hard to try to understand what that means, and it's gonna look like he's hurting himself trying to figure it out.
I don't think Cedel is living ground. Roads.
Did we ever start using that locate object spell, by the way?
Oh no,
What are
we're
we
just
trying to locate?
I will cast. Oh,
Locate thread of conversation.
spell
None
failure?
found.
Empty.
I tried to cast it and it just failed. I don't know why.
I will cast locate object on the skull of Dranoth, I believe it is.
Bruneth, sure. As you cast locate object on the skull of Druneth, you will detect it. It appears to be right in the center of that.
Of course it would be. Of course it
We
would be.
should have guessed.
Then let me guess. Try to get close to it. We're gonna get burned. You are immune to fire damage right now, and I think you have a much better odds of getting that. So I'll tell you what. You go first, and let me know how it is.
Will do. It already said.
Oh wait.
Oh yeah, you're
hold
using
on, hold
that
on.
new item, right?
Yes.
Just in case.
What does it
how
mean?
much you take a death ward with you?
Thank you.
Wait, just out of
Are
curiosity,
you
what
not
does it
coming?
feel like to like bathe in the water here if you can't be burned?
Real nice.
I don't know. I would rather not keep wet, even if it doesn't hurt. Takes
What if
forever
it's
to
like
dry off.
really mineral enriched?
Yeah, have you ever taken a
Probably
bath?
great for your fur.
Yeah.
I take baths. I'm not like disgusting. I
I mean, you're immune to
We've
fire, but
noticed.
is this
Haven't
technically
you seen him
fire?
look
This is
himself in the corner?
technically more heat than fire.
well, we'll find out. It's nobody following.
Are you suggesting the presence of heat damage?
Well, I just like mechanically
Blasphemy.
speaking,
Blasphemy.
it's sort of like vague whether or not
I mean,
this would
it's
count
not going
as
to be
fire.
water damage, right?
Coin's going
Well-
to attempt to follow as far as he physically can
Okay,
until he's under the impression he can't. I should say.
sure.
Was everybody
Usually
too?
would probably do the same, like but flying above.
Okay.
And how was Bryn and Hermanos following? Like, I know that some of the people can fly on their own. There was room on my carpet for another person. That's what I was asking.
Bryn, Hermanos, how are you guys joining the party? Did you walk or are you flying somehow?
I thought we were all going together on magic carpets and or riding on Wizard.
We are, but there is an important thing to establish here. The
Okay.
Goldilocks, the middle-sized carpet, was previously held by Saphira. We technically have access to it, but you would have needed to fish out Saphira's equipment to gain it. But you could use that.
Why didn't we take all Saphira's equipment? Why wouldn't we have access to it?
If that, I was under the impression it was on her person, but if that's the case, then yeah, we
you
would
just
have
mean
it.
it's on our character sheet. Yeah, it's yeah, we have plenty of
That would
ways
be-
to-
That would presumably be how they are traveling then,
Okay.
on the middle-sized
valid.
carpet.
Well, I'll lead the way, assuming that everybody's following.
Cool.
I'll try
Yep.
not to split the party.
You guys can all make it to the outer ring here where the grass still is. However, beyond that, anyone who goes forward is going to suffer fire damage due to the extreme heat.
Fire.
How much fire
see?
damage?
The fire damage
talk-
they would be suffering the first round here.
Is
Before
2 or
he-
200?
21 for the first round.
All right, you go, Oshin. I believe in you.
Coin will
Can we
keep
see
following.
the
Takes half.
item
You can't
Or is
see
it
the
like
item
a-
yet. You
crater, and then it goes down.
right. It's a caldera and then a lava cone in the center.
How much distance is this? Like
Oh.
what's the width of the
The width of the green area
space?
is about 150 yards.
Oh.
And then to the center is another 400 feet. Another 100
Would I
yards.
Okay.
know is there a chance that like the magic carpet burns, or is it as a magic carpet kind of like immune to stuff like that?
Officially, in most of my campaigns, people have asked me not to burn up their magical equipment, and this is not a super hardcore game, so I'm not going to do that to your magical equipment, because I would be doing it to not just that, I would be doing it to a lot of your gear, your clothes, etc. So I'm just going to hand wave that. We're not going to do that in this group.
Almost feels insulting the way that you frame it.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset about that. I
I'm
think
sorry.
we should all be naked now.
That's
That's
up to you
what
guys.
I was asking.
Tati, I
I'll
don't
do
think
something
that-
you guys can handle, and I'll let you keep it.
Oh, I'm always completely new.
It is not fun. It is not fun to have magic items just burned away by acid or fire, just
I mean,
because.
it's kind of fun though.
Tati is a masochist when it comes to difficulty levels. though.
Everything. You can put
Are
a
we-
period at the end of that.
Understood.
Are we
Thank
counting
you.
hands right now? Is this a vote? I'm fine with that rule.
Okay.
I think there is a window where like telegraphing that it will be damaged over
Right.
time. I'm fine with that personally, but I'm cool since that's kind of how we've already established
Right.
up to this point.
That's kind of what I'm
Your
mixing
magic
off.
carpet doesn't cook and drop you into the caldera.
It does not yet. No.
Then I will continue on.
Okay.
I'll go to, if in the center it like is a hole that goes down, I'll just go
Yes.
to the edge of it.
Cool. And you can see at the bottom of it, about 30 feet down, a skull. It is
Do I see
black, and the heat seems to be emanating from it.
All right, let's call Rafinas and tell her to come get her shit.
It looks
Do I
like
see
this.
Mage hand seems good here. Just a thought.
Is there anything? Can I see any like creatures, or is it safe?
You have not seen a creature since you arrived on this island.
Okay, well then
He hasn't
I
been
will just
looking at
go
us this whole time.
down and pick it up.
Okay. You easily pick it up. The air instantly becomes cooler. Not intensely cooler, but the heat is beginning to dissipate quickly.
Then I'll come straight back up
Okay.
and to where I can see everybody. And what do you want me to do with this?
Put it on your face.
No, we do not do
I
that.
do.
We do.
No.
Did you?
Yes.
All right.
You deserve this. I'm
Need a
just
wisdom
saying
saving
you
throw,
deserve it.
please, Oshin?
Bruh.
Is it a mask?
No.
How's he get it on his face?
Raises more
Makes sense.
questions.
So what? He freaking bonks it against his head.
Oshin, would you like to use your inspiration, or are you going to accept this?
Is he close enough to me?
No.
If so, he does get the +5. And nope.
No,
Alright,
he's
fair
not.
enough.
Well, the question is, are
He's by
you
his-
close
He's
enough
by
to him?
himself in the center.
I'll use
yeah.
my inspiration, and
You're
that is
shooting
way
for
low, so
22.
that's fine.
Thank you.
I think
Yep,
like
I can
Coin
take
is
that.
maybe 200 feet away from Oshin, and the rest of you are presumably even further.
Would you
I'll
like
accept
my inspiration?
consequences. I'll
You
do
should at least take
one,
my inspiration.
All right.
But that's it. After this, I'll just. I don't even know. I need like a 20. I don't know why I asked for that.
Well, hang on.
Especially if you
The
keep rolling
dice-
eights.
The dice know what your story
This
is.
seems important. This seems very important.
It is.
You have, hang on, you have a bardic as well that you can. I mean, it's
Oh,
too
I
late.
didn't-
If you can. Well, let's hang on. Let's keep fishing, and if you get.
Wait,
to-
how does? What is a bardic? Is it a D8?
It's yes.
If I'm using my inspiration, does that replace your roll, or is it turn it into advantage? So like
I
when
will
say
allow
minus
you to use the
17
Bark Inspiration because this is a very important roll. So we'll use it on the first one there. Unfortunately, that
Okay.
still is not high enough.
Terrible.
All right. So what happened?
Okay, well, hang on. The
Sure.
odds are still better because you're trying to hit a 22, so now you're trying to hit a 19, and you have +3, so you're 25%. You can have my inspiration, because because this. Also, before rolls happen, how far away? Eric, can you describe the scene in terms
He is
of
100 yards away
where-
from you, hovering over the caldera.
Is he? He's always so we can see him.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess let's. You.
Oh wait,
Can
actually,
consume-
if Sizen uses his invoke the amulet saving throw, I'll hit a 22.
You're too far from me.
Oh, it's I
Um,
forget mine's on site.
Yeah, keep in mind, mine's
So
only a
the-
spell. It's
the-
too weaker.
The walking stick of Zarud says the sort of limitations are ambiguous. It just says preemptively replace a d20 roll that is about to happen.
Yep.
We've previously sort of agreed that Bryn has to be somewhat aware of
Right.
the roll. Like it can't be on the other side of the planet. Bryn is 100 yards away, but has line of sight, and the telepathic bond is up. Is that sufficient to replace a roll with the walking stick, or is that too far away and too removed from the situation?
That's too
Say
far away.
that you're where?
Too far away.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. Okay. We should.
So
we
what
should
happens?
iron out the details.
Yeah, I need
on
to fix that.
That seems like an important detail to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Any way we can bullshit this roll? What are your portent dice look like, Oshin? You would have done it already. I'm guessing if you had good dice.
My portent was my highest portent is what I rolled. I rolled a 14 and it's my highest portent.
Okay. All right. So that's not high enough. Okay. Is there any
That's all right.
other bullshit we can do to mess with this besides just doing all of our inspirations on it?
I will not
Spells.
accept more inspiration.
What spells do I have?
I assume that
He's not wanting
this is
to
not
accept
put
any
on
more
when I
inspirations.
die. So we'll just see what
are,
happens.
are you sure?
If you have a
Because
spell,
this-
that's up to you. But
I
like, I
don't.
won't stop you.
I
From this,
this-
but,
we are out of options.
I don't assume this is counterspellable, correct?
It is not. It's not a spell
Well, there
that's
you
been
go.
cast. He literally put it
I
on his
figured.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
if it
you
ain't
just
the
like put it against
consequences
his
of your
face
own
or
action.
something, I guess, because it's not a mask.
All right.
yeah, just kind of like held it up and acted like it
Okay,
was my face.
Just
'cause
out
Tati
of
said to.
character. Out of character, real quick, Kyle, are you 100% sure you want to do this? Because I think there's a good chance that Oshin permanently goes away if you don't pass this roll. Not saying it's for certain, but I just want you to be aware of the possibility.
Yeah.
If it's just like I hold it up and I die, then yeah, I'll use another inspiration.
It's
But if
going to
just,
be
like, something.
your skull is going to be
It can be
replaced by
worse.
this.
So dope though.
Oh,
Yeah, your skull
Yeah,
is going to
that's
fall out
kinda
the back
cool.
of your head as this one melts into your body.
Okay, that changes things. There's
I
a
assume that would
deal
also
here.
kill him.
Yeah, I think that's
I
I assume
worse.
that's probably not Oshin anymore at that point. I would guess.
all right.
Alright.
I'll use this one. Then.
So
Okay.
I need to roll-
I'll give my inspiration to Oshin to roll this.
I believe I need just 16.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, that doesn't.
you want to
hit.
try that one again with mine?
You're going in the wrong direction there, man.
Would you like to use
Yeah, I'm
coins
not gonna-
inspiration?
That's
How about
Okay.
you take? Oh,
You,
There's some
you can have
coins.
mine if you want it.
Little better.
Hermanos is offering his.
I like to imagine this is the party one by one yelling, "Don't, hey, don't!"
All right.
Yeah, we got it.
So,
that
Oshin.
gets me with the
That
bardic.
gets that one.
you feel this pull towards your face from this skull as it tries to give you a massive headache and eject your skull out the back end of your head to replace it. And you're able to, with your inspiration of having your friends over there, you're able to pull it away from your face and not die and be possessed by Drunath. Which would
I don't know if we
reincarnate
give
Drunath,
this-
which would be awesome.
I don't know if we give this.
This
Away.
isn't a mask, it's actually his full skull.
Rafinus would not be happy with us if we did that.
That's, or
I mean,
she'd be thrilled. We don't know.
Him himself
That-
be like, hey, we got you the skull.
Can we trust her with it now? Also, you said that the heat started to dissipate. Is it?
It's cooling. It's going to take the
Touch.
better part of 20 minutes for you guys to be able to walk in the area. The skull itself, from your perspective, Oshin, it's fine.
Okay. If there were any signs of the heat around the caldera, I'll have waited until they seem to go away to get closer to the party, so I'm not
Okay,
hitting them with fire damage.
that's fine.
But I'll wait or inch closer as it cools down.
Sure. Over the
Really
next
ominous
20
over
minutes, you
there,
can
just
approach
kind
it.
Just kind of floating, holding that thing. Can I come closer?
You good, man?
He's lowering his hands.
Uh,
He's lowering his hands, guys. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
I just
I shouldn't
realized
do
that
these things
the
as far from
horns on
South
this
Basin.
thing look very similar to Oshin's horns.
that's why. I
What
was
did
just
we
wondering
learn?
if you replace my skull with it, it just felt fitting.
Yeah.
We have learned not to do these things unless I'm within 30 feet of you.
That's
We did not learn that.
that's half the lesson.
Wait, so should I be more
I think
disappointed in
that's actually
Patty for
twice the
suggesting the
lesson.
idea, or more disappointed in you for actually doing it? I'm gonna choose more disappointed in you for doing it.
No, like if we're close to Sison, it's fine to do now. Look,
No, don't.
How did it feel?
it gave me a headache.
Mhm.
It kind of felt
Some
like
people die that way.
listening to you and Cash, but
Oh. Can I try?
yeah, I'll toss it to you.
I'll hold it.
Coin, I know you know better. I know you're not actually thinking about it. It's just for the bit.
I think
But
it'd
I
be more
swear
valuable
to
as like
God.
no, I'm thinking of like mounting this on my door.
The
it'd
demon
be
skull
sick.
that just tried to take his head.
Yeah, how much of a bragging right would that be? Oh, we could put like a ring somewhere and it could be like a door knocker.
What if he's conscious in there and just waiting for somebody to smash their forehead against him, but we just mount him where he can just watch everything?
That'd be sick.
I mean,
I'll bring it up with
we
their Venus.
we can see.
Well, technically, we were allowed to have it back after she questioned it. I don't know if you guys
Weird.
remember that.
Well, I am.
On it
Can I?
back?
Well, are we gonna call Rafinus
Cast
over
I-
to do the questioning now or later?
Let's wait a
Probably
few
not a bad
minutes.
idea to here though, instead of in the middle of town, because if something does go wrong.
Well, we really over negotiated asking for a week, huh?
Rafinus,
Well, we didn't
we
know.
know you're watching. You're gonna just show up and you get your prize or whatever.
Well,
Before
yes,
she comes.
Ruzid,
Oh, okay.
as
See,
she appears.
he's always watching.
Yeah, she is.
So, you managed to get the skull. So proud of you. And ahead of schedule, too.
We get a
Right.
bonus.
A bonus? Yes, Ruzid. Here, have some jerky. And she throws you a piece of beef jerky.
You know, I kind of want this, but I also feel kind of insulted.
Do you take the beef jerky or not?
Ruzid eats it.
Understood. It's very tasty. It's teriyaki.
Nice.
So good. But it's still an insult.
She smiles. So, Sason, are you ready to continue our deal?
Oh boy. Yeah, I suppose it's time.
Continue.
Well,
Before-
she's gonna do the questioning, and I'm gonna be there for it, and then hopefully everything's fine and dandy, and we all go on our happy ways and never cross paths again.
Before we give it to, can I cast Identify on it?
You can if you choose to.
Bryn, are you able to do it without touch? I mean, I already touched it. I just didn't hold it up to my face. But
Bryn?
He is muted, so I will just cast it
sorry,
myself.
I was muted. I stepped away for a second. What was the question?
Oh, I was asking. I didn't know if you had any charges of identify to try to identify what the skull was.
Yes. What would you like me to use the identify on?
The thing in the middle of our screen.
The skull itself.
I'll hold it up to you.
Is Rufinus okay with that?
She shrugs.
Okay. Yeah. Bryn will cast identify. On using the wand of identify. On the skull.
Okay. It is a skull that has been petrified. It is currently afflicted by flesh to stone.
Checks out.
Are we familiar with the name of it at all?
With Drunath, I need you to roll nat 20 on your religion check. I'm sorry. All right. Look, we can go there. All right. So, we're just going to tell only you this. I'm not going to take you into another channel because this party's really good about retaining who's got what knowledge. So, Drunath is a fiend of ancient times. He was an archfiend at one point in time. He had many demons underneath his thumb and controlled a near entire level of the Nine Hells for the better period of 300 years. He had mortals in his sway on the material plane, and he corrupted their minds using various temptations. Drunath was eventually overcome by a greater fiend who you don't remember the name of him, but due to the betrayal, Drunath was petrified, and as punishment, his body was shattered into 47 pieces and spread across the Nine Hells as a warning to other fiends to not mess with this greater fiend. Drunath's skull, however, remained intact. His will remains inside of it, awaiting freedom. Now, the skull was taken by the dragon Sigeos and uses the power source to enchant his lair. In case of his own death, the power of Drunath would be released in a surge, destroying the area.
And do I know about how long ago this was? Are we talking like hundreds?
This was thousands of years ago.
Okay.
Close to, I believe it's, let me make sure I get this right. I believe it is 7,000 years ago-ish. It was before the Great War.
Did that? Is it a power that's able to be channeled through it again, or is it kind of like it did its one use and now it's...
Ooh, that you're unsure of. There was a lot that Sigeos did to make this happen.
Okay.
Essentially, roll an Arcana check. Let's see where we're at on Arcana on this.
Come on, 20.
The 30, okay.
Oh.
So the way this worked is Sigeos had set this up so that Drunath's skull took consciousness for a brief moment. And in his wrath, Drunath annihilated the area before turning back to stone.
So, Rufinus, I know that you're going to allow Sison to listen to your questions.
Of course!
After you're done, are you keeping the skull?
Well, I'd like to, but I'm open to destroying it as well. You see, I'm not a fan of Drunath. He's not exactly a friend of mine. I just need him for my own purposes.
So turning him into a door knocker off the table?
I think that would be very unwise if you like the innocence of wherever you're going to do this.
Negotiable.
Prefer to keep him myself, but I'd be willing to let you question him.
Willing to.
I like it.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
What do you-
I picked it
Old.
up. I didn't agree to a deal.
love the team spirit.
Well,
Mine just goes,
Are we?
huh.
I was going to let her do it anyways, but you don't have to say that out loud.
Well, per the original agreement, we do get it back afterwards, to be clear.
Oh, well then, yeah. Here you go, and I'll toss it to her.
Okay.
Don't mind me in the background.
It's fine. You
Hey, Tati.
you didn't say that.
So are my
We
sister-in-law's earrings. Just saying.
It just seems like they might be a little heavy. I'm concerned for her lobes.
Have you seen Tati's
Your
art?
sister-in-law Mexican.
Yeah. Beautiful. And her lobes are intact.
Yes.
Heavy on the ears, so wear the ears.
Or are you asking about my
Don't say
sister-in-law?
really
Because I will
much.
gladly say something.
Oh, I just assumed that meant that she was Mexican.
No. She's more Native American.
Oh, okay, that checks out too.
Yep.
It was the hoops that were giant that I thought, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the cars in my neighborhoods. Thank you. I live in San Antonio, guys. I don't... Anyway. Cool.
yeah. So I will have tossed it over.
You toss it over to her?
Yep.
All right. Come, Sason, if you want to hear what we're going to talk about, I need a little bit of privacy.
Huh? Shall we? Is she just gonna walk off, or?
She's going to gesture for you to follow along.
Cool. Yeah, I'll follow.
All right. They're going to go a significant way away, and she's going to look at you. Now, Sason. I know that your friends like to detect thoughts. I don't want you sharing what we're going to be discussing with your friends, even if it's telepathically.
That is a completely reasonable word to have, and I can promise I will not be sharing it telepathically.
She narrows her eyes at you. Because I don't trust you, Sason, especially with that one, the drow, around, I suspect you probably can do the telepathic bond right now. Is it true that it's up, or is it not?
It's currently up. As a matter of fact, here, I'm going to go through my feats and such. I will use Cleansing Touch on myself to end the bond.
Okay.
Oh no,
And now
Says
it's
it's
not.
gone.
All right.
Yeah, I probably should have said that before I turned that off, huh?
She just turns it off. All right. She nods at you. Very well. Thank you. I appreciate the token of trust. I do appreciate the honesty and forthrightness of a paladin. Well, are you ready?
Guess as ready as I'm gonna be.
Drunath, by your black wisdom. And she's casting Speak with Dead.
Yeah, makes sense.
By your black wisdom, name the true nature of the pact that binds me. What unseen clause or forgotten bond do I serve? The skull, the jaw moves. It clacks once and twice. Ugh. Clever barding. You serve not the contract as written, but the echo of a contract signed in blood older than yours. The one who bound you was not the first bearer of the pact, but its inheritor. Pass through the chains of dominion. The clause you serve is the obligatum successionis, the succession binding etched in the soul of your master by my own claw. You do not serve her, not truly. You serve the power she stole, and that power still whispers my name. Well, that was enlightening. She looks at you, Sason, raises an eyebrow, and states, I am about to continue.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm simply going to wave my hand forward.
Drunath, tell me what breaks the chain. What must be done to sever this ancient obligation truly and forever? To break a chain that echoes across contracts and time. A rare thing, but not impossible. Listen well. To sever the bond in truth, you must isolate the originating link. Find the primordial sigil, the name and glyph of the first pact maker. It lies within the vault of withered hands, guarded by the Eater of Quills, a beast made from torn oaths and treacherous ink. Once the sigil is yours, burn it under a moonless sky in the presence of one who loved you before the pact. For love older than contract is its only antithesis. Moment.
Don't worry, I'm furiously taking notes anyway. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch this for the perfect wording.
I can paste the wording, which is so much fun. She looks at you, Sason. I am about to continue with the next question.
I'll just give a nod.
Who is the fiend that now holds my leash? What does she fear, and what would make her release her claim? Her, the daughter of silk and flame. She was once my steward, before ambition soured loyalty. She fears mirrors, Bard, not those made of glass, but reflection, prophecy, remembrance, exposure. Her name is Kendall of the Ashbriar line, and she weaves love like a widow's web. She will never release you willingly, but if her name is spoken in truth during the Song of First Binding, she will be forced to face the contract as if it were new, and may be outwitted in the terms. Beware, she has rewritten many lovers' hearts and their histories. Yours she pens in red ink. She sighs. Oh, that is an interesting development. What price will I pay should I succeed in severing this bond? All magic echoes. Severing this kind of bond unbinds both sides. Kendall will fall from her perch, and the shard of your soul that was once anchored by her will be freed into the void. You may feel a piece of yourself gone, missing forever. Worse still, the void may remember your taste, and there are others who dwell there, curious, Hungry. Forgotten. Freedom is never without scars, songstress. Some notes once sung cannot be unheard. She looks at Sason as he's taking notes. She smiles
very
coldly at
furrowed brow
you.
right
I'm sorry?
I just have a very furrowed brow right now.
One final gift, Drunath. Tell me something Kendall does not know. A truth that may turn the tide if we ever meet again. She smiles at you, Sason. Delicious. Yes, I shall grant you this. Kendall believes her web eternal, but there is one soul she failed to claim. One who loved her truly, yet never signed her contract. His name was Kalar, a knight of the Mirrored Order. He walks still, bearing the ghost of her touch and the hatred of a man who refused to fall. Find him in the Glimmer Deep, lost in dreams. Awaken him, and her house of cards may shatter. She has never faced rejection, and rejection is the blade that undoes her spell. Rafinus laughs. Oh, Drunath, I didn't ask the 5th question. Thank you. Sason, it's your turn.
Oh god.
You have one question, Sason. You have no assistance from the
do.
party.
Unlike the rest of the time.
I'm debating to myself if I try to go back to the party with this, because there's no time limit on this spell, I don't believe. God, I was not
Ask
ready
him
for
about
this
the door
at
knocker
all. Sorry.
situation.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't ready for this whatsoever. I'm really thinking about what the right question to ask is here. I need to look up something.
She's going to look at you and smile, and she's going to wave a hand, and silence falls around you, Sason. She gestures.
What, remind me,
Good.
what is the name of the Crimson Mirror Towers? The place that can...
You were talking about the Fortress of Crimson Glass?
Yes, the Fortress of Crimson Glass.
Okay.
How would you... No, that's not what I want to ask. 1 second. I need to think about this wording.
Yeah.
I'm spitballing a little bit here. I wouldn't
She
actually start
can
talking about
cast. She's going to cast silence while your mouth is working until you're ready. Do you wish to go back to your party and discuss this? Because she nods at you. She
Well,
smiles
real
at
quick,
you and taps the side of her forehead. You remember you're not supposed to discuss what's been going on in this discussion.
I know, and that's the biggest problem. I would have to discuss... I'd have to speak in vague abstracts, but okay. Sorry, I'm thinking carefully about how to phrase this, because there's so many different ways this can come out.
Uh-huh.
Alright, I'm gonna ask, how would one destroy the succubi that exist in the, sorry, I forget the name again, the Crimson Hall of Glass?
Ooh, okay. Let me see. I believe... How would someone kill them? Let me get that here.
I know normally when
Right,
kill
that's
them.
a
They
great
just
question. Yeah. And it's how would one kill the succubus?
I think I said destroy, although not totally confident. But
Destroy?
yeah,
Destroy. Okay.
the destroy. The whole point is not just kill because they can come right back. The point is completely obliterate. But
All right. So, let's see. Okay. I'm trying to think. Because I did think this through. Give me a couple moments.
yeah,
Because I didn't expect to actually be involved in that combat yet. Actually, I did mention how she could be destroyed already. So, the skull.
but to be clear, it's not just her. It should be all the ones.
Right.
But yes,
All magic echoes, severing the bond with Kalor will cause Kendall to fall from her perch and lose her power. Slay her in the fortress of Crimson Glass, her home, and she will be unable to reconstitute. You, elf, suffer well. And the skull will
All
go
my life.
inert. Well, Sason, I believe that was educational.
I believe it was. Now,
Now that you know, what do you think of the situation?
I think you may have had your eyes on this group for a lot longer than you let on.
It's true. Ever since you entered 123 Merry Way, they have been on my radar for a very long time. And radar's not a good word, but they've been on my list for a very long time. You understand, I need to be very careful about who knows the secrets, because Kendall has a hold of me. And I want to be free.
And yet, in some ways, it seems you can resist.
No. No, I can't resist her if she's around. That's why I have you.
So this is what it comes back to once again.
Yes.
You need another favor.
Well, no. From what I understand and what I've been listening in on, you're going to the Fortress of Crimson Glass. You're going to deal with Kendall. And you're going to solve my problems for me. I don't need another favor. At least not yet. Unless you'd like to owe me one. How can I be of service, Sason?
I think right now the question is exactly what I can do for you, and the answer appears to be break you out of this deal.
I believe you're going to do that one way or the other, with or without doing a favor for me.
I mean, we'll see. At this point, I have faith in my abilities to break my own party members out of her grasp. They've clearly been in it likely less time than you have. And who knows, Kendall could probably be good help in terms of getting back Saphira's soul.
He smiles. Kendall doesn't let toys go. The only time she's let anyone go was when your friend's friend Isaac asked for a deal and gave her the souls of others who inhabited the house. Such an evil, evil act.
I hadn't heard that.
No? Did Isaac not tell you? Such a shame. You only have seen him once, though. I wouldn't expect deep conversations of this nature. No, Sason, the party is keeping secrets from you. You'd best check in. Don't you think? And she boops you on the nose.
Well, let's be clear. So, there's been some good information, clearly, from this conversation. You wish me to not share any of it with my party members? I feel like there's some useful tidbits there that might not implicate you so much as be useful if we were to go down this route.
I'll admit, Sason, the information I gathered is not the information I expected to receive. Drunath has proven to be informative and timely. You can tell them. I unbind you from the pact of not telling them what you learned here. You can tell them
Appreciate it.
everything. Just know, Sason, that they're not going to likely want to deal with Kendall. After all, at one point, they loved her.
Well, we're working on that part. The group has a tendency to fall in love with the first pretty face they see.
I'm very glad that I wasn't the first, then. And I do hope Saphira gets better. She has so much more of a story to make. She's made me so much money as it is. Have you heard the tales of the Pirate Princess? I've been telling them in all sorts of taverns.
I've heard some wildly conflicting ones, and tends not to always match up with what I've seen.
Oh, Sason, embellishment is flattery for the person being turned into a legend. If I didn't embellish, no one would listen.
I don't know, honestly. Some of the things I've seen on the other hand, you can tell the truth and it sounds just as unbelievable.
The story about her attacking the entire city of Ryport with a single ship. One of my favorites. Did you hear that she assaulted the walls with the prow and shattered her figurehead upon it on purpose out of defiance for the system?
It's pretty much how I heard it, actually, almost word for word.
Exactly. Who do you think made the legend?
Well, Saphir would say herself, of course.
She's the origin, but in reality, we both know that she bumped into the wall on accident. It's the storytellers that make legends, Sason. And, well, your story may prove profitable to me in the future.
I make a good background character, but what do you get out of this? You get money? Where's your story? Where's your legend?
Oh.
Why do you stay in the background and just tell others?
I sing, I dance, I weave stories and tales for kings and kingdoms. I am wealthy, Sason, immensely so. And if I took a fancy to you, I have enough wealth that I could buy even your affection. But I have other aims. I am comfortable
for that.
and I seek fame. So, go. Tell your friends. And take Drunath's skull with you. All I ask is in exchange for me letting you tell them the, quote, tidbits, if you ask Drunath questions in the future, I'd like to know the answers as well. Fair?
Well, you already released me from my oath, so there's no actual deal that has to be struck here.
No, but
I have
professional courtesy.
I enjoy good professional courtesy. I don't enjoy people using this as pieces on the board to get their own means done.
Well,
But I have a question for you, and then maybe I'll
Yes.
think about making this deal. Tell me, the phylactery.
yes.
Whose is it? Why do all these people go after it? You must have information on it.
I do. Now, that would be telling. Is this an exchange?
I can promise that if you give me the information about the phylactery, anytime I question the skull, I will do my very best to send word to you and make sure that you can
dear
do that.
Sason. Your wordplay is feeble at best. No, the party. I want to know what the party asks of Druneth.
You have to understand to some extent, I truly do not control them, as I'm sure you have seen. I can promise I'll give my very best efforts, but if someone's stealing the skull and questioning it when I have no power over it, I can't bind myself to an oath about that.
Okay. She nods. Well, I want to know what's going on with Druneth. Wow. If you get them to agree, I'll tell you who's in the phylactery. It's very valuable information, an even more valuable item.
All right. I'll discuss it with the party as long as we can get them to agree. I'm sure we'll be in touch in the future and can discuss.
Of course. Now, I can't remember it. I'm sorry. I believe you guys gave it to her, right?
The phylactery? No, I'm still carrying
You still have it. Okay.
I check it every night to make sure I'm
Yep.
carrying it.
Very well. All right. Well, Sason, I trust you have good control of this, and please don't put this skull on your head. The mortal plane, material plane really doesn't need this big of a story.
I can promise you I'm not the one you have to worry about doing something like that.
Well, fortunately, Saphira is unconscious.
Which I'm thinking to myself, she's actually been here for this whole conversation because I'm carrying the bag, but it's fine.
Yep. All right. So, Rafinas is going to lean over. A pleasure doing business with you, Sason. Next time, I trust it'll be just as profitable to both of us.
We'll certainly have big plans for the two of us.
Really?
I mean, let's face it, we all know what's going to happen next. We know Kendall, one way or another, has to be dealt with. It's going to take a little bit of time just in terms of wiping her influence from the party first, but after that,
Indeed.
I'm sure we'll talk. And I'm sure if you have any assistance you can lend, you'll be willing to, because let's face it, your soul contract, whatever it is on the line as well.
Yes. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Sason. Because I suspect I already know what you're going to do. I am going to research this place called the Glimmerdeep. I don't know where that is. I don't think anyone does. As a famous bard that I am, I would have heard of such a place. I need to find this Kalor and handle him. So, I'll be in touch. If you want access to the Glimmerdeep, I hope I can find it so that you can help. After all, I'm not all that good alone.
So you say.
She smiles. Oh, you're so bad for being so good. I know some women who'd really appreciate that, but not me. I prefer the straight, honest answers. Have a good day, Sason. She reaches out for a handshake.
I'll give it a handshake.
Her hands are cold, and as she takes the handshake, she steps past you, and as your head turns, She disappears into your shadow.
I still wish I fully knew how she did that and always has eyes on us, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll trudge back around, go back to the party.
Okay.
Are we gonna destroy the thing now, or?
Well, we have to do some research into how to destroy it properly. You know, with binding items, you never know if destroying it will just release a spirit or something.
Would be bad.
I do have something interesting that I can talk about. You know, most of that conversation's private and I can't share. Rufinus is willing to make a deal in terms of if we question the skull again in the future, she'd like to be there for it, or at least hear what's answered. And in return, she's willing to tell us whose soul is in the phylactery.
And that would be...
Would she already know the damn questions we're asking anyways, because she's spying on us?
Let's face it, it's not... Whatever system she has is probably not perfect. As it is, I'm sure we could find ways to circumvent it, and I'm sure her attention could be elsewhere at any given time. I mean, we don't have to agree, but it would be good to know who we've been carrying around this whole
If
time.
he asked for this deal, he probably isn't, all-knowing.
Could you gauge what her opinion would be on it being used as, like, a paperweight?
She seemed really against. I specifically asked, don't you worry. She seemed very against it.
Oh, that's a shame.
I'm
I'm
really
glad you
glad
asked
that,
that.
like,
Thank you.
Yeah.
World-ending terror. Yeah, don't worry. It was the first thing on my mind, actually.
Coin smiles.
Do you mind if I hold on to that, Jason?
I'm kind of concerned about you holding on to it. No offense.
Is it just me, or is Sazin trying to bogart all of the dangerous magical items?
No, it's not just you. I tell you, I'm trying to do that.
I had some ideas that didn't include putting it on.
Like what? Putting it on someone else?
I'll tell you if you tell me what you talked about.
That's against the rules. Do you want me to lose the paladin powers?
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me, but
We're not in combat. What's up?
Listen.
I mean,
do you even know what you're dealing with?
magic. Actually, I think I know. No, I guess you did identify it. You probably know more. I know what his voice sounds like.
And I know who he is.
Yeah, Drownath. Drewnath. Everyone knows that. See. Party vote. I'm willing to let everyone else decide. Those in favor of giving Oshin the skull?
I'm not putting it on.
I caught up on you're allowing us to vote on this subject, because like what is the situation happening right now?
Yeah, I out of character, I don't want to like actually just hoard everything, and especially if it feels bad. So I want people to have the opportunity to make sure, like, if we want to pass it off, great.
We want to cause end of the world issues.
Out of character.
You want to.
No,
Let's just make that clear. You want to.
I had no intention out of character of putting it on myself or another person. I just wanted to research more about how Sageos caused it to do this.
Yeah, which is so valid and something that, like, again, if the group wants to do, or if we want to all do together or something, I'd be down for. Sazin himself, especially after seeing what would happen, would be trying to avoid passing it off to you.
Oh, yeah.
Who votes no?
I vote no.
Well, that's
No
two
to giving
no's.
Oshin the skull?
Yeah.
Oshin seems very reliable. Like, he makes good decisions on the regular.
You
just
saw
made
him
one
try
of the
to-
worst decisions possible.
That was a severe decision right there.
It was a decision so bad I couldn't have even thought of it myself.
And nothing bad happened. So, what does that say?
I'm
We
gonna be
will-
honest. I think we should hire like. I think we just need to hire like a third-party service to follow us around and carry any.
Listen,
Hermanos, you should. I think by de facto you should carry all dangerous things right now.
I thought you were gonna say you
All-
wanted a third party around to just be there for consulting purposes, because we're always gonna have stupid questions asked that we don't want, people to actually make decisions about in here.
We're hiring consultants.
No, we are
That
not.
sounds terrible. We should not
No.
do that.
we're not paying him. That
You asked me to carry all your dangerous things around. I would have to extract each of your brains because they are clearly dangerous to all of you.
Wow!
There is
wow.
somebody that
That
can
was
make a.
uncalled for.
No, that's a solid
No, that
judgment.
was
There is
perfect.
nothing more dangerous
I'm
than.
just gonna say, Sizen, from what I felt, it sounds like he's gonna put that skull on one of us.
To be, I'm not giving it to him either. Like, to be fair, I don't know that guy. Once again, so nervous about him.
Listen,
Can we just
the
all
power
remember
he
that
can
until
wield-
recently, Sizen had his skull on the outside?
Yeah, my
It's not
skull.
unheard of.
My skull.
I was just
God.
interested in if Sagaeos can rig this to blow up the island. You all have lost multiple ships. If I can figure out a way once we get a third to just blow our ship up in
Multiple.
case that it gets
Two.
stolen, that could be.
How is that a solution?
Wait,
Most
why
of the time
would
we
we care
leave the
about
ship,
blowing
it's
up a
always
ship
blown
that we
up.
don't even have yet?
I do not follow the through line that led to you blowing up our ship. But like, I
You
got
guys wanna
lost.
blow up
I
the
was
ship?
there for
That's
the
what
I got
that
lost
ship
on
must
the
be.
train of thought somewhere
It
along
doesn't
the way.
have to be a ship. It could be anything of ours. But I've just noticed a tendency of this group to lose things. So if one got
Well,
taken,
it's it's more complicated than that. Our first ship got. What even happened to the Changemaker? Was it like?
It got eaten by a giant elephant.
No, it
right?
got
Why-
banished.
yeah.
It got
I
banished to
sent
the,
to
the
a
plane of water.
Water to
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
kind of the same
wasn't
thing.
it? Wasn't it both of those? Like, was an elemental summoned and then ate our ship, and now
We
Yeah.
banished an elemental and our ship to the plane of water.
Well, I hope the
Oh,
elemental had a
the
great
guy that-
meal. How about
Oh,
that?
the elemental ate our ship, and then we banished it. Is
Correct.
that
The
what-
Leviathan consumed the Changemaker, and you guys banished the Leviathan to the plane of water.
Got rid of the Leviathan though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
the
that's
guy
like,
that-
okay, we kind of got rid of it, but it was already a lost cause at that point. And we were
It's probably going to be half digested if we got out of there. It probably would not have been good.
I think the Changemaker is living on in the plane of water.
I respect your optimism, even though I do not share it.
if we
And then
can
the second one
use
actually
this,
blew up.
Well, we
Yeah,
don't even
well,
know what
if we can
actually
use
happened.
this-
Like,
we do. We just had
Kinda
to
know. We
redo it
kinda
once
know.
we found out.
we kind of know. I mean,
We
we
kind of
could've-
know.
But it's not like blowing up. It's like probably got hit by a giant tidal wave from the explosion from the island.
See, that's my point. It didn't. Neither of them blew up. But
Wait, but why do you
if-
want a third one to blow up? Why does that make you so excited? Aren't I supposed to be the one who likes blowing things up and destroying stuff? You're kind of stealing my gig.
I'm not wanting to blow anything up. I'm saying that we can use it so that if we lose control over anything important to us, we can
We can blow it up.
blow it up as a failsafe.
Yeah, let's
Okay, yeah,
tell
see,
Kira if she
now
wanted
that's
to
the
break
problem with-
party, she blows up.
What a failsafe is that?
Sheen, that's the problem I'm having with this conversation. You seem really intent on blowing our stuff up as a solution. Why is that your first go-to?
It's not like there's stuff on there that we're so afraid of being stolen that we need to destroy it. Like, yeah, what's the thinking here?
Shall I open the extra planers that we've just thrown things in?
We filled one thing in there.
That does not define us.
And what do you mean throw one thing? We literally have another party member in one right now.
Wait, but that's with us, not in the ship. Why do we need a failsafe for that?
I'm just saying we have a tendency to lose control or.
I can't.
Okay, well, you know what? If we lose control and, like, the bag of holding falls into the wrong hands, we're probably all dead anyways. Let's be realistic.
As
Yeah,
fascinating
Bag
as
of
this
holding
is,
falls into the wrong hands. I don't want the bag of holding to blow up. I want to go get it back.
Also that. If we're not, if
Also-
it's the case of not us all being dead, but instead the thing got stolen.
This also powered all the defenses on the island. Maybe we wouldn't lose a ship to begin with if we had something powering its defenses. Danwick was not that capable, clearly.
Oh, Sheen,
I feel like-
you didn't know Gilman, but if he had been talking about blowing up prior
God.
to his demise, that would have been a red flag for me.
Yeah, it's kind of a trigger for
I'm
this
not
party.
trying to blow something up. I'm saying we should have preventative measures because that tends to happen.
Wait, your
Okay, well, the
preventative measure
measure
is
is
blowing things up.
stupid. Boom, said it.
See, I still feel like you're not getting this, but we're gonna put a pin in that. I don't think any of
What if
this.
we just pass this around and whoever doesn't turn into it gets to hold it?
Oh, okay.
What a great
No,
game you
no,
decided to play.
no. Okay, all right.
Sounds
We're gonna do a
fun.
separate
Doesn't
bag of
sound
holding
smart.
first
Does
item.
sound.
How about this? You can have supervised research time with Bryn.
Rude.
Why? are you
Talking,
doing
you
research?
everyone else can do this. Because I'm currently holding it, and I didn't try to put it in my head.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, but I
I'm really
handed
starting
it
to join the
over
let's
just
destroy
'cause
the
I was gonna get it
the
back.
skull club.
None of this conversation is helping us figure out how to actually destroy this.
Yeah, I would love
None
to
of
do
it.
it now. If we destroy
Well-
the skull, then I'll never have to hear another idea about how we're going to utilize it to blow up the ship.
The only other thing with destroying the skull now is we won't be able to use that and get the information about who's in the phylactery.
I mean, that's fine.
That person's gone already.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait,
they're very much
what-
not on. That's why you make a phylactery.
Well,
Can we
I
go
mean, it kinda
carbon
are
date
on-
this
we don't-
thing?
break it.
I don't know. Take a chisel
I mean,
to
I
it,
can
count
tell
the
you-
rings.
When it's from, but apparently Sizen wants to hold on to it.
Yeah, wait, didn't you cast identifying this thing? Do you know, like, how old it is?
We did
I
try
mean,
to identify it, but it's not actually a magic item. So we only learn because it's a body part. So we only learn what spells are affecting it, and we learned that it had been petrified by magic. But in terms of what it can actually do, we don't get to learn that, unfortunately.
Is it a minotaur body part? Because I kind of thought minotaurs had bigger noses.
It's not a minotaur
No,
skull.
it's not. I mean, like,
We did,
identifying
yeah.
it allowed us to recognize it, or I'm familiar with it. I don't know if anybody else is, but
So what is it?
Familiar with it.
it's a
We
secret.
we did not learn the species of whatever kind of creature this is.
He would know. Oshin would know that Druneth was a fiend. Or are you
What are we
talking about the contents of the phylactery?
I think we were talking about the. Oh, were we? Sorry, was this whole thing about the phylactery? I
No, this is
we-
about the skull. This is about the skull.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were talking about this.
Yeah.
The skull is a fiend.
You think this
I
was
thought
about
we were
anything?
talking about the Ring of Evasion. What have you guys been talking about?
Not the Dragon Lord? We gotta stop picking up cursed items, guys. This is getting bad.
That's why we need to start
know,
breaking them.
I feel like we also need to spread them out because if you're holding all the cursed items, if one takes over you, then they're all out of our control.
Oh, then you guys stop me.
Kind of a good point, huh? Yeah, but like Sizen would never get cursed, right? Dude's like practically his mind is a fortress. That's what I wanted to say.
Mm, mm.
Fortress of Pain.
Aw.
Hey,
Well,
Eric,
See,
Yes,
what
sir.
is the? Go ahead.
I think Coin is getting such not to stop the conversation. I
Right.
welcome it as a player, but Coin is probably getting a headache. From
That's valid.
his back and forth. I think he instinctively tends to just shove his head into water whenever
Okay.
this happens.
Yep.
I'm wondering if Coin goes spelunking, for lack of a better term. What are the odds he can actually find something of interest?
You will find destroyed pieces of gold. So little flecks.
I suppose so.
That's
Coin's gonna
interesting.
dive down and just look for trinkets.
Okay.
Not anything particular, just that's where he is.
You'll find a pocket watch.
Nice.
It's broken.
It is.
Less nice.
But at one point, it was a nice pocket watch. It was protected mostly by the fact that the dead person that it was attached to protected it from the explosion.
For some
Adding
reason,
it-
there's a number 13 on it, though.
Oh no.
For some reason, that's the only number left on it.
Wrong.
All right. So, while the rest of you guys are discussing this, what else are you doing? What other questions do you have or plans regarding this skull?
I'm happy for us to hold on to it for a while, try and question it later. I don't quite know how the spell works, but I think there's a cooldown period. Mostly because I want to figure out whose phylactery we've been carrying, because it's weird carrying around a mystery phylactery that people keep trying to kill us over.
On the topic of
Break it.
that, is there any reason for us to not agree to that? Like, can any of us even speak with it?
I
I
wouldn't
think
know.
Tati can probably cast a spell from a scroll, right?
What do you want me to do?
Oh, like speak with dead?
I mean, I'd rather just send to Imkale. Is that an option? You want me to do I can do a ceremony. You mean do some funeral rites right now?
I mean, we still can
Or
destroy it. That's still on the table. But
Yeah. We didn't necessarily mean now. I was just saying, is there any reason to not agree to Rafinus' deal? As I don't believe anybody in the party can speak to the skull. And Sizen said that he thought you could.
I don't want to speak to the skull.
Okay. Well, do you want to let
I mean-
Rafinus know that we accept? Unless anybody objects.
is
I mean, I
everyone in agreement?
object
Oh,
to
okay.
agreeing to anything Rafinus wants to do. But you know, if Sizen needs to like get it out of his system before he moves on to like someone better, I can stand by
Wait,
that. I
what?
guess, and watch over him.
What do you think's been happening this whole time, Tati?
I saw her boop your nose.
First of all, I feel like she's
You
grouped
guys were there
small.
for a long time.
I feel like
You-
that's sort
you
of a calling
spoke-
card.
You cut us out to speak to her quietly. On
Because
the way over
it was a
there.
private conversation. It was the whole
I
point
know
of it.
you had a private conversation with her.
Yes,
I don't
you're
know
right.
you
It's
guys
very
well, but have you
suspicious.
ever uttered the words, "I can fix her"?
Does it count if
Yes,
it's about
but not
Saphira?
about her.
For the record, you are wrong.
Are you
Yeah,
saying
but
we
Susan's
can't
an
fix
idiot in some
Saphira?
ways.
Or
Doesn't matter who. You can't fix her. Just saying.
Yeah, no, you're right, Tati. This all was an elaborate setup. This skull is just a prop. It was just to get some alone time with you guys vaguely watching from across the way. You caught
I
me.
knew it.
No, Tati.
Wait, are you serious?
It's so obvious.
this is
I don't know
why we
who to
don't
believe
trust him with
anymore.
objects.
You guys just saw the skull try and like consume Oshin.
And it didn't.
And it didn't.
Have an insistence on holding on to it yourself.
I really just wanted for research, so like I don't care. You can hand it to Armenos as long as he stays up with me when you guys go to sleep.
Kidding me? I don't.
type
I
of
don't
research
want to be
even
part of
is
that
this?
skull. It tried to eat you.
I
Thank you. Remember, you
Holy-
can sit by me. You're doing great.
joined this group to continue my research. I'm still a student.
Oh man, do you have to like send reports back? Are you working
well,
on like a thesis right now?
Yeah. Yep.
It's gonna be a pretty cool thesis.
You
It's
have
gonna
not
be
been
the
doing a
best
lot of
thesis.
writing. Are you on this?
I'm in the research phase.
No note taking
Right.
Called
required.
field
All up here.
field
You should
research.
write thesis about all
Uh,
the different ways that you can turn into a dragon.
Exactly.
I thought he was researching first objects and not these.
Well, no.
What are you researching anyway?
If I told you, I'd have to put the skull on you.
Okay.
Okay, see, that's
we
why
all
we're
know
not
that's
getting
not
you the
true.
skull.
Well, obviously, they just said they know that it's not true. That was a joke.
Yeah, just like putting it on the first time.
Are you embarrassed
Really,
about your thesis
I'm just-
subject?
Well, it's never been done before. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of a thesis. So, to an extent, unless I can make that happen, it is kind of pointless research.
I like it.
But I'm just trying to figure out how to either cast spells or keep concentrating on them while kind of raging. That's why I kind of go into that during combats at times. But aside from that, what is our next step? Are we doing something with this, or trying to get Saphira? I don't really know what you talked about, Sizen, so I don't know if that has any bearing on it.
No, there's nothing. It's nothing I can share, as I said. I think we probably need to rest for a few days, get Bryn back on his feet before we do anything. I do think we need to get Saphira probably sooner rather than later, but also on the other hand, it's better to be full strength before we try and do anything.
Should we turn this into our new base?
If we could find a way to make this in a new base, that would be awesome.
Challenge
Not a
accepted.
bad idea.
Wait,
We
how
need
are
to
we
get
gonna
some,
power the
like,
hot
questions.
tub though without
Ow.
the skull?
Well, the
Kind of
skull was
natural
making it
hot tub.
over hot. Let's.
I
How
was trying to use
cold
it
is
to
it
power
gonna
our
get?
base, but some people said no.
Your plan was to use it to blow up our base if we lost it.
No, I said I wanted to power it and use it as a failsafe, exactly like Sageos did, but I had to research that.
I mean, I can power a hot tub if you just give me an hour to pre-warm it.
No peeing in the pool, Coin.
Okay.
Okay, 2 hours.
Also, it's not gonna be hot. It's just gonna be like lukewarm.
Lukewarm?
No, it'll
Yeah.
bubble. It'll bubble if you give me long enough. It's just
Yeah.
there are probably better
Don't
ways.
Hot peppers away from Colin.
What's the inside of that center look like? Like, can we move in there? Is that an option?
It's only 20
Now, if we
feet
can go-
deep.
So
Yes.
I mean, if we lay a foundation
Uh.
across this, it's gonna be a lot of space to cover. But if we fill in this central pond,
Mhm.
make a great kind of outpost.
Fill it in.
Yeah, just like get dirt. We can conjure water,
Actually,
right?
we
Can
do
we
it.
conjure dirt?
I kind of thought you'd prefer the water.
I prefer the water. I just think you landies, no offense, might like some walkable ground.
I think it kind of works. I mean, it's away from anything dangerous, and Coin can swim around us.
We can get a
Okay.
little boat to put in here.
Yeah, I mean, I dig a moat. I'm more than down to keep it.
There's
Oh, how deep is
are there any
the?
objections?
And I'm gonna point to, like this area. How deep is this?
Easily 150 feet deep.
Okay. Is it clear out to the ocean? Like,
Up
could
till
we get a ship
about
in here?
you'd have to clear out some rocks and stuff, but with some effort, yeah, you can turn this into a little bit of a harbor. It takes some time, but yeah, it's doable to turn this into a inland harbor.
This could
Could
be a
honestly
really neat
be-
place to set up a city.
I was thinking the
Yeah.
same thing. Like we set up sort of like a castle right up at the top here, and then
I think-
around the edges you could start building like bring a boats and docks.
I think step one would be making sure the island's clear because you don't want there to be a bunch of monsters or something hanging around. After that, we want to start getting people out here, set up infrastructure, build up a town,
well,
probably solid
people-
birds.
You fly around and check it out, and I'll sit here and work on researching how to power it.
Great. I'll fly around with the skull. You sit there and research how to power it.
Now that he's gone, what should we do next?
Saison, do you go off and search around?
No, I'm simply offended.
Simply offended. Understood.
You know what I'm
I'll
doing
say
next?
that in front of him.
Yeah, that's fair.
We saw you cast cleansing touch on us.
What part of private conversation? Once again, Taji, I am not sure what you think is happening.
I don't know what part of the train wreck and all of our time on that ship makes you think anyone gets private conversations.
You actually specifically signed away the right to that when you joined.
I've had multiple private conversations. Like that one time Saphir and I were chatting, then we fell into the ocean.
Yeah, and you were technically breaching contract. I just didn't mention it.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm a
and
whole
water
lot.
after a few minutes.
Fall into the ocean by accident while speaking in a private conversation.
It's actually fairly easy. You'd be surprised how easy it is.
Yes,
Remind
I
me again
would
why
be.
we trust him with the cursed objects.
Track record.
He can't even stay on the boat.
Well, Doug, he can't
one
sit
of
on
us
a
has
boat and
left
talk
it.
at the same time.
Only one of us has left the boat to go off with Saphira in my recent memory.
Oh, that's true.
And we were fine.
What were you plotting?
You know, I don't remember anymore. What were we plotting?
Do we know if the nugget of Sageos takes us safely back to this location, or is it like underneath the rocks in this
I
location?
feel like it would teleport us right into the fire pit in the center.
Is there a
Can
way
I-
to scientifically determine if that's true?
Yeah. Yeah, I could just trigger it and swim back up. Should be fine.
I just think before we like set up our base, we should find out if our, go home card is actually valid.
I mean, we can just pick up a rock.
And do what? with it?
And
When I cast teleport, assuming the rock is from here, it would just take us back here.
Well, yeah, but she's saying specifically the button.
The nugget
thingy.
of Sageos. Yeah.
no, we're not
Negative.
saying we need a means of returning here. We need to know if
Oh.
the sigil is a reliable form of transportation.
Petition to
I
rename
thought
it
you were
Nugget.
saying
I think that's better.
To use the sigil to get back here. I misunderstood.
It may very well be valid, but the sigil itself remains magical in property. I think that's like we need to send a dummy through. Tape it to a squirrel, and I'm against harming animals that aren't myself. So
Then why are you immediately suggesting harming an animal?
Yeah, but we
I'm
still
just-
should tape it to a squirrel, right? That's what you were gonna say next.
well, because all philosophy involves, engaging with the worst case scenario, which is taping it to a squirrel.
I'm
That
just
does
saying,
sound like one
if
of the
he's
worst.
But you wouldn't
said
dare
he's
do
against-
Nah.
Looking around, if he said he's against harming animals, I can't be the test subject. So whichever you get.
I'll legitimately pop it and do it. I just gonna have to do some improvising if things go wrong is all.
Maybe we should wait until you can reset time again,
Yeah.
That would be my preference also.
and then
There's no
not
rush.
Set up a camp here.
have you also be the person that's
That is-
testing.
That is a great point, Tati. We will wait 2 days and then I will use it.
All right. I'll see you dead in 2 days, I guess.
Wait, but if you use it and you have the key, then
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
wouldn't
What-
you
okay.
die and then you would just be dead?
That's not how it went last time, so I'm one
that's-
for one
that's
right
your
now.
track
Yeah,
record.
because you got lucky.
He's
That's
always
Prove
lucky.
it. That is my whole thing.
Yeah, you
That
won't
is
get
my
lucky
literal
again.
whole thing.
You won't get lucky again.
Well, that's rude.
Well, in the meantime, do we
But he
need
is the
some-
last of his kind, so that might be true too.
Yeah, you have no idea how many of my ancestors you have offended.
How many?
Do we have any?
A lot, many.
At least 4.
I'm blanking on the names, but there's so many of them, and
Yeah, list them.
their arms are crossed
Start
up there,
listing.
Ruzid. They're looking down from the
I
clouds.
can't back
Their
you
arms
this
are
time,
crossed.
Ruzid.
What?
Do we have any leads on where we can find Saphira?
Coin looks at Sazin.
None yet. We're still researching that.
Ooh.
Okay, so what were
Above
you
the
doing
table,
when
I'm
we were at
gonna
the corn
smack
cob the whole
Scythe.
time?
You run
Jason's
that
been
again.
lying to
Oh.
that a lot lately.
Yeah.
What did Oshin say?
Hermanos, I said, do we have any leads, like on finding Saphira?
Oh, I meant after that, but as far as the party has been told, not particularly. Above the table, yes. On the table, you don't know that.
What's our time limit with the finding Saphira nonsense? I mean, eventually we're just gonna get sick and tired of getting 0
Forever?
leads and then just
We could we
wish
could spend
for a
3
result.
years, honestly.
3 years.
Not
That's our
Hermanos.
time limit. Okay. Trying to set some
Hermanos
rules
clears it.
here.
How?
Hermanos clears his throat very, very loudly.
2 years.
found
Yeah,
us.
two years?
Did
2 years.
Did you have anything to go off on how to find Saphira?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, I guess
Well-
you gotta work on your sweet talking skills. Convince one of those two to cast Wish.
There are other steps we can take
I-
first.
Well,
The
I
good
think
news
first
is-
and you go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The good news is she's probably not in any danger because her soul should have been securely trapped in something else. So it's not an immediate rush, probably. But like I said, I think we need to get Bryn back on his feet. Maybe again set up a bit of a base here, and then we can keep on doing some research. There's a lot of powerful magic items and people out there that can maybe do some scrying, or could have just heard rumors or something. The longer we wait, the more chance there's people hear about where she might be as well.
To add to
Alright,
that,
go ahead.
we know the consortium's gonna return roughly a day or two. I think if we bank on that, we can go have a conversation with Zutono. I'm sure he knows a few people. Maybe we can get word spreading that we're looking for a solution behind closed doors, and maybe we find a lead that way.
We could put out a bounty
want
for
word
Saphira's
spread?
soul.
Yeah. We're
Yeah,
not going
bounties
to
on
pay
Saphira
for it
always-
if someone finds it, but,
I mean, we could pay for
Do
it.
we-
well, how high are we
Um,
willing to go?
At least as high as her life was worth.
Have you seen her bounty? I don't think we can afford that.
I don't know if we can
As
afford
her
that.
friends, we owe it to her to make the highest bounty we can.
As her friend, I think her life is priceless, and that's why I'm not going to pay anyone anything to find her.
Do we, Eric?
Yes, sir?
When the Decimate Things card like sucks her soul away like that.
Yes.
I don't know how the card works. Like, does the card she reads it and it vanishes, or would we have seen after she vanishes, like the card laying there to know what happened?
It is
we-
destroyed.
Okay, so we don't actually like in our minds. She just went
Someone
unconscious.
ran an Arcana check when it happened. I believe it was Bryn. So Bryn knew what happened, and I believe he explained it to the party at the time.
Yeah,
Okay,
but,
I didn't remember that,
Bruiser
so I
did
was just-
mention the
yeah.
card by name. I think a session.
Yeah. So you guys
Okay,
do know the
I just couldn't
information.
remember that, so
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure that like we had an idea what happened.
You are very aware of what
No,
happened.
how to. Gotcha. Well, what's the plan? Are we heading back to? Actually, while we're here, should we look for the? I mean, obviously, where the ship is. I don't assume that our crew made it, but the others that tried to help us out in this fight.
I think
don't
we should search the island for monsters or allies or corpses.
Well, I think
Yeah.
survivors, too. We know that people who were kind of neutral parties lived on this island. if they're gonna find help, we're probably the top of the list.
Monsters, allies,
Yeah.
corpses, and refugees. Got it.
You can do
I mean, if-
downtime plus search party.
If we're going to set up a city, I think we kind of ignore the natives to the island. We should really just be looking for people like Brad or
Well, ditto.
the guy that, in theory, ran the library, but seemed like he couldn't read.
Oh, whatever happened to that person that was like had beef with Coin and hit him with that anti-magic circle? I wonder if they're okay.
They
Which
flew
one?
off.
Oh yeah, the woman from the island
Severina?
we ran into her.
What about
Yeah,
that
what happened?
robot that we glued to the?
Oh, he's
Crap.
dead. He's gone. That,
You know, I
that's
was mad at-
out there in the water.
I was mad at the moment about the anti-magic, but it ended up kind of being fun. So you know what? I forgive her.
Oh, I'm glad that you and Pitty Bones get along well.
So, how long does it take us to do like a grid search on this island?
How much of the grid do you want to search it?
How big is the island?
It's
We wanna
hundreds of
rest.
miles.
Oh, this is a big island.
Big island.
If
This
we
is just
fly
a
up-
segment of it.
I think
Enough.
I think this is sort of a circular formation as a result of the destruction.
Yes.
So if we make sort of a star pattern
Okay.
going to the highest points, we have 7 party members, so one to all the highest points. There'd be kind of one. Actually, one of those just goes to the ocean, so we don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
So all 7 of us go to the highest points in a rough circle formation. We could probably gather a lot of data that way, in my opinion.
Okay.
We would like to split the party 7 ways.
Understood.
Yes, we
That's
would
what
like
I'm
to
hearing.
split the party 7
That's good.
ways.
That's what I heard.
Can I?
Fantastic.
I don't know about others, but just be looking for movement to begin with.
Sure. Let's roll your perception checks, everybody. Is anyone against splitting the party 7 ways?
We can also go
You should-
point to point
Oh,
together.
I-
We don't have to go alone, to be clear.
Let
I should
we
at least
get
been
our work
there.
done. Come back and make Bryn make us dinner.
That's
I don't wanna
true. We
be
save a
all
lot of
alone.
time.
I want to have someone to hang out with while I'm exploring.
All right.
We would
let's-
say-
we should at
Let's
least go in
see.
pairs.
Regardless,
6 points.
you guys are going
So
to
we
be
can
okay.
Split, and Brent could cook dinner while we move.
You guys are going to be
Bryn.
okay. There are no life forms within 50 miles of you guys.
Damn.
Huh.
This place is crazy.
Starting to think
Until
I
you
need to
guys
cast
go-
ceremony anyway.
Until you guys get out into the ocean, at which point you will start seeing fish.
Dang.
It's a really good thing we left this nuke, because that would have been a problem.
Good news, you will not see any sign of the boats that had been docked where you guys came in.
Wait, are we the ones that blew up our own boats? I'm wondering.
Presumably.
I really thought it was Saphira's family that did it, but if not, it might have just been us.
What happened to the World Eater ships?
You see no sign of them.
Well, the implication is that all of our allies retreated and left the island. The ones destroyed were the ship that we left here and anybody that lived on the island.
But yeah,
At
you
least
don't
within
find
50
any
miles.
ants, you don't find any insect life. There's nothing here.
But
If I
plants
had
are
like a
okay.
microscope, could I see, like a
Bacteria?
tardigrade?
No.
Fascinating.
Just
Not even a
grass.
tardigrade? Alright.
And even if you live through it, your gut bacteria is done.
No, just plant life. That's all that's here.
It seems like a perfect place to start a city. There's no natural predators.
Just xenomorphs. Sorry. That's
Yeah, and a lot of nuclear runoff, but that's a problem for a future generation.
Yeah, it makes them good mages, I think.
What should we call it?
Sorcerers.
Oh,
I-
that's a whole nother question.
I mean, if we're gonna start a civilization here, my vote. I mean, given the continent and that we lost all our ships here, we could call it the Toivoan Trainwreck.
Is that it?
I was waiting also.
Well, I mean,
No,
it's like
never
an
catch
island,
on.
but we don't have to add it. But
Tempting. I think probably
keep
land on
workshopping
some.
it.
Let's keep workshopping it.
Coin's saying he hates the idea.
well, you know what? I can take out Coin's better half anytime I want. So
Wow.
He's not wrong.
You can make the world's biggest coin cop stand here.
Wait, what if we made a third coin to run this place?
It's not a great
Well,
location. You have to drive so far out of the way to even park.
There are literally no customers.
You have to consider like.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that we were doing this whole like city building plan where we're gonna make a bunch of customers.
Okay,
Yeah,
when
you
we have a
keep saying
city,
that,
that'll be
but-
great.
As the only current female in this party, I'm a little concerned about your population plans.
There's a thing
why
called like
did you assume that
immigration.
you're going
you
to
know?
be the source of them?
Okay, well, there's also 0 males living on the island, so I think that problem is a bit bigger than a ratio issue.
This land really got out of hand really fast.
We have
I'm
enough
just
As I
wasting
female-
my
said,
energy. I don't like it.
immigration. It exists.
We have another female in a bag right over there.
Okay, no.
Ew.
Not upsetting at all, thank you.
Alright, so Oshi's not allowed to have the skull or the bag.
In fact, I think I would rather have him have the skull.
Oh, Sheen, are you trying to cheat on me with a corpse?
First of all, not a
no,
corpse.
I was proving.
Let's give the man some
How are we
credit.
gonna
He's
find
got a
her?
foot in his mouth, a hoof in his mouth. All right.
Exactly.
What?
So how are we gonna find her though? I mean, I can cast Wish, but I don't want to look. I'm already carrying all of Bryn's gear. Is somebody gonna carry mine if that doesn't go well?
I think a bounty on her soul is a good idea. I think casting legend lore every day until someone gets a whisper of a legend. I think
Checking with the consortium once everyone's back, seeing how many people there might have some ability to scry or anything like that could be good. I mean, even like Aimer and his party had some capability of doing that. We could always check with them. There
Do we though have any sign that the people from the consortium or those that came to help us even are alive? Like, I didn't see anybody when we searched the island.
we were told they're alive.
We were in contact with the consortium that helped us. They told us they're on the way back. We don't know how many are going to make the voyage back home, but we do know that they survived the initial impact.
There was that
Okay.
terrified woman who was there.
Well, should we follow up with her?
Which terrified woman are we referring to?
Which do we need to choose from?
I don't know. I don't know the names of the people there, but the one with the stare that pierces your soul, blood magic, all of
professor?
that.
Oh.
Oh, the scary woman.
That is what I said. The terrifying woman.
Ah. Yeah, I mean, we can confer with her again, but I don't see how it's going to. I mean, you guys, no offense, got knocked out the first time. I don't think it'll be much better the second.
Is her lead not the one to follow?
Did she have a lead?
I think Coin, you guys are prodding so deeply. I think Coin needs to make a true deception check at this point because
Yep.
he keeps trying to pivot, but they keep poking back
Sure.
at it.
Coin knows something.
Is Coin? We got a long rest, right? He would
Yes,
have
sir.
luckies again.
Sure.
Okay. He would do another lucky.
Understood. He's got
on
21.
this.
Ooh.
And he's just gonna tell
There's
you, like,
nothing to share.
he's going to Stonewall. He's gonna be like, no lead. And a space seems
Well-
convincing.
Well then,
In the meantime, I'm gonna start building that castle, and I'll just walk around and start gathering large rocks and putting them together.
Okay.
You're gonna seriously build a castle with your bare hands.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
my
go
dad
build a
does it all the
monument
time.
with my bare hands. Well,
It's literally what my
Right, no
people do,
thanks.
Grusin.
And how long is this gonna take?
Well, I'm not
We've
gonna
got a
finish
couple
by
days.
the time we leave, but I'll have foundation down.
How big is this castle you're building?
We'll find out.
if you're nice, he might make it big enough for you to fit.
That would be kind, considering I'm his spouse.
Does that make him a homemaker
Dragons
right
speed.
now?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, I'll set up the rope swing.
What type of rope swing?
On what? There's no trees.
That is the problem that I'm going to go solve. Indeed.
Okay.
Not a lot of branches around here.
Yeah. There better be a nice
What do you think of-
dragon-sized bedroom for us, Oshin. Yeah.
I wasn't planning on. Yes, Grusin.
Great.
I'm gonna go up here and make a monument to all the people who died on this island and cast ceremony as many times as I have spell slots.
Okay.
I'll be back for supper.
All right. So, she does that. What are the rest of you guys doing this evening? Rest of the day.
This is gonna help Oshin build.
Okay.
Point
Maybe-
is-
maybe make an athletics check to see how effective we are at bringing a bunch of rocks around.
Sure. You bring a lot of rocks around.
Eric, how far is the fall? I see that this sort of circle
It's about
Island.
300 feet.
300 feet. Coin is going to try and carve a pathway down to like an overhang somewhere.
Okay.
He's looking for an overhang to convert that into a rope swing, if you follow what I mean.
I think so.
I can even doodle more
Yeah.
specifically. Because the idea is have an overhang that you can do a rope swing on. 300 feet is a bit much for these people, so Coin's going to find
Closer to
something
the
a bit more,
surface.
something a bit more survivable. I mean, if he can find one like even on the internal island,
Sure.
that'd be great. I just don't know what
Okay.
the
Yeah, I
height
don't.
is.
I don't know what you're going to attach the rope to, though.
Link it presumably into a jagged edge. He can tie it
Okay.
around it, or carve out a shape that he can tie a proper knot around.
Okay.
It's not going to be like perfect. This is
Yeah.
going to be very jerry rigged.
This is going to be very, very jerry-rigged. Let's go ahead and, yeah, let's figure out what skill would you like to use to do this?
I would say survival in the
Okay,
same way
let's do
you
that.
would tie a rope to climb
Sure.
to secure yourself while falling
That's
while
valid.
climbing downwards. So survival.
Yes, sir. The
16 to find an overhang
Yeah.
somewhere.
You find an overhang somewhere, you're able to tie the rope around it.
Great news, everybody. Absolutely stellar news.
You look around and no one is listening to you. You see Ruzid and Oshin moving rocks. You see Tati off in the distance performing a ceremony. You see Sayson scanning the environment for forms of life. And you see Bryn being weak. Hermenos is judging the party.
Rude.
I'm actually going to see if I can get Bryn to come scouting with me.
Bryn, would you go scouting with Sayson?
Gladly.
Okay.
Great. I'm going to wait till we're far enough away from everyone else so that we're out of view. Okay, Bryn, sorry, this is actually a little bit of a deception type vibe. I'm a little bit worried you're still under some lingering effects of the dragon orb. Are you okay with me trying to make sure any lingering effects are gone, trying to dispel any other negative effects on you?
Absolutely. Go for it.
Great. As I lie again, I'm enjoying lying. It's really fun. I'm gonna
Change of pace.
I don't know why that rolled. It's not supposed to quite yet. I'm gonna cast Dispel Evil and Good on myself.
On yourself?
I'm going to try to. Well, because I have to do it on myself, and they can use the break enchantment function to break the enchantment on him.
Okay. So you're casting Dispel Evil and Good on yourself?
It's a
Yeah, because
That's how it works.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
you break the enchantment as an action.
Understood. Gotcha.
So I'm going to try
Understood.
to
You're
dispel- Yeah. Yep. I'll try to.
I will comment that the break enchantment specifically says celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead.
Yeah, I'm lying
and-
to you. I'm trying to get rid of Kendall's influence.
Oh, that went right over my head. Yeah,
It worked.
yeah.
All right.
Great.
So
Charisma. Let's do it.
cool.
I'll get there.
Nice.
Okay.
You believe that
There's
you've
definitely-
dispelled the influence of Kendall?
Oh, I just straight up believe it. I wouldn't be able to tell.
Nope. How would you tell?
Rough. I mean, I'm never sure with these things. So, you know what? Just
Hang on,
because.
Sorry, why are you making a check?
That's how Eric was ruling it because you've been
I see.
cursed for it for a while.
Yeah.
I will use inspiration just in case.
Sure.
Let's see. Odds are still low, but
Stacy's going to use inspiration on it. Awesome. Cool. You believe that you've dispelled the influence of Kendall.
great. Well, sure don't know, but hopefully I get there. Technically, what I should do is spam the spell that lets me save rolls until I can get a set that I want, but I'm not going to do that because that's not fun.
Right?
Cool.
Man of honor.
All right. Bryn, I'm not going to lie, that was... okay, I actually will. I do that a lot. That was, once again, a lie. I believe it's dispelled, so I guess I'd say I was concerned that you and all of the party have been under the control of Kendall. She's a very, very powerful demonic being that clearly had charmed all of you.
So it's kind of complicated, and the resolution of that particular story arc was not 100% clear. I can tell you what happened from my perspective. We were
There you
all
go.
charmed. Yeah, I see, Eric. Thank you. It is consistent
Yeah, I think-
with what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a couple things. So we were all charmed by Kendall. We tried to fight her, but she succeeded in charming everyone in the party except for Isaac. And Isaac made a deal with her that if she left us alone, then she could sort of have the house, and we were not going to try and we agreed to a truce. And then something else happened with Leslie. We went to the Longstriders Consortium, and Leslie brought us to the Hells and showed us Kendall's true form. And whether or not we are charmed by Kendall is not totally clear at this point. And I am not sure that I trust myself around her to make smart decisions. I certainly reckon when Leslie showed us Kendall and her coven of witches, we saw her for what she is, and I saw that and I remember that, and so I don't think I'm certainly not as charmed as I was when we were all trying to fight her, but I'm not sure I would be able to strike her down if it came to open combat. I think the best thing, if you're looking to act against Kendall, I will aid you however I can, because I think she's dangerous, and I think she is probably evil, but I'm not sure that I would be able to fight her if it came to that. So that's kind of where we are. I imagine most of the party. I think Coin has a good head on his shoulders, and he's got monk training, and so I think Coin for sure is safe. But the rest of us and me, I always feel a little weird when we bump into Kendall. And
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things with that in terms of just in general. You guys brought me around to the house and never really gave me any sort of breakdown or rundown of what I should be concerned about, other than like it's weird, she's a little spooky. That to me suggests maybe a deeper influence than you realize in terms of you brought a relatively new person to the party to the lair of a succubus without telling them anything.
Well, it was firstly, I don't think the house is really, is it her lair? I'm not sure it qualifies as her lair. It certainly is her haunt. But I mean, I'd be perfectly happy to never see her again. But I guess we sort of think of it as a safe place because she made a deal with Isaac to leave us alone. And in exchange, she's kind of like a roommate, maybe an unwanted roommate, but it's it's a good question of whether any truce would extend to the newer party members, or none of us were in the room when Isaac negotiated whatever he negotiated, so
I can tell you, I felt like a slab of meat in front of her, so didn't feel good either way. I can't promise any sort of deal that she made. I don't know any of the details. As a matter of fact, I didn't hear about this deal until recently.
Yeah, I thought it was safe to go back there, and it's clearly not, despite whatever agreements Isaac made. I would be fine just never going back to that house, because yeah.
I've got bad news in that we're going to be crossing paths with her a lot more often soon.
Really?
So you don't think that she could directly control you or anything like that right now, just in terms of you're not sure you could act against her, but...
I would have said, I know what I would have said a week ago, but after the episode with the Dragon Orb, I'm not so sure. I'm quite confident that I'm not being controlled like a puppet.
Which, to be fair, is what a puppet would say.
I'm also quite confident that she could not induce me just by the force of her personality to act against our friendship or that of with any of the other party members. Whether there is something more subtle No, it's like she never directly controlled me. The way that the influence Kendall had over me was different from the influence the Dragon Orb had over me. Um, the the Dragon Orb, the relationship between me and the dragon inside the Dragon Orb was a master and servant relationship, with the conflict being that I believed I was the master when I was actually the servant. And while I'm pretty sure the orb never actually forced me to do anything I didn't want to do, the way that it tried to compel me was through force and not through charm or guile. I'm quite confident that Kendall does not, or at least has not, in the interactions that we've had with her, used force to command an action from any of us. But her charm and guile are quite strong. And I after we saw her in the hells, I believed I was free of it. And I still think I'm mostly free of it. But when we went back to Mary Way and saw her, she's very difficult to say no to.
Well, I appreciate you talking about this and being honest. Well, I tried to dispel the enchantment. I'm hopeful that I succeeded.
I appreciate that, but I am worried at this point that any residual hold that she has over me is very possibly non-magical, and is a remnant of the emotional attachment that I had to her, even if it was brief. And it's possible that I'm still there is still some lingering charm, and it's possible
you, an
that
emotional guy.
may or may not have broken it. I'm not normally a person who's driven by my emotions. It's true, but Kendall, the normal rules don't apply to someone like Kendall.
Can't blame you. Well, again, thanks for talking about this and trusting me. I know I kind of lied about things, but I just wasn't sure how deep the enchantment went.
You're
in
right
terms
to be nervous, and I'm not sure either. And while I'm pretty confident that I would be able to look her in the eye and say no if she asked me to do something I didn't want to do, I don't know that for a fact.
Well, I've kind of had this conversation with Corn and Ruzid, and their heads seem to be on fairly straight, or at least similarly. I also hit them with the enchantment breaker. I do still need to speak with Tati and Oshin to see if I can do the same to them.
Yes.
Their reason, of course.
I would trust Coin more than any of the other members of the party, because Coin's monk talents give him a stronger resistance to this kind of magic.
Good to note, especially if we have to do, private meetings with Kendall. The reason this comes up is because we do actually have information on where Saphir's soul is being held. And it's connected to Kendall. Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Oh, I'd love to be kidding you. And as a matter of fact, there's been more information that not even Gordon Ruzid know as of yet in terms of my conversation with Venus. I'm actually allowed to speak about it now.
Oh, you are allowed? Okay, I was going to stop.
We struck a new deal. No worries.
Okay.
I appreciate
your judgment on that matter.
She's of like minds in terms of wanting to get rid of Kendall. She has her own goals and aims, of course, but we can consider her as being willing to help. And I have some more information in terms of things that might make Kendall a little weaker. But we do know that Saphir's soul is being held in the Fortress of Crimson Glass, which is somewhere in the Hells, with a lot of ancient succubi protecting it, of which Kendall is just one of a few, let's say, princesses with one queen residing over them.
Fortress of Crimson Glass. Eric, based on... It was a long, long time ago, but when Leslie took us on a little journey, does this sound vaguely familiar to what we may have seen or is that a name that we?
And you
Heard
pulling
before?
out the stops. I will tell you that yes, you have seen this before. This was approximately 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's,
you guys saw this when you guys descended to the hells and saw the hags.
Okay, that was my guess. I just wasn't sure if we knew that or not. If Leslie told us our destination,
She did
or if
not
we
tell you
just-
that, but I'm
Okay.
going to just tell you that that description of a fortress of crimson glass matches. So,
Okay.
in spite
Alright.
of knowing what that may be or any history behind that, the description would have triggered in Bryn's brain of, I have seen a fortress of crimson glass in the past.
Gotcha.
Does it make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah, that
Go
sounds
check that out.
that sounds really familiar. I guess we've got our work cut out for us.
Wow.
Ugh,
Good
I-
memory.
I'm not. Well, it was. Yeah. I mean, that was a really interesting thing that happened in our
Mhm.
campaign, and it's hard to remember how long ago things were. But I know we saw Kendall in her true
Yep.
visage, because that was how the curse, like, that was how that story arc ended. So
Yes.
I even yeah. So I'm not gonna forget that easily, but okay. Well, this makes things significantly more complicated, because any other fiend or devil or demon in the multiverse, if you told me they had Saphira's soul gem, I would gladly say let's go and march right up to them and demand it back. And if they say no, we kick some ass. But Kendall, that is a different.
And again, Kendall's only one of a few. She's one of, I believe it was 3 sisters. Look at, I've got notes here.
I'm
One of 3
not-
sisters with her mother over them all.
Not especially scared of the other ones.
I think you maybe
mainly
still
'cause they haven't. Well, I mean, I would have a healthy fear of them, as I would any kind of being that lives in that part of the multiverse. But Kendall specifically is. I would not trust myself to bargain with her. I would not trust myself to fight her. I would not trust myself to walk past her on the street again. Given that we kind of already did that last time we tried to go to Merry Way. I'm not sure whether confronting her in the Hells would make it easier or harder. Probably both. Easier because she'll be easier to resist when she's in her demonic form, but harder because she'd probably be more powerful in her home plane. So
There are definitely some options
I think yeah.
in terms of maybe we could find a way to trap her here before we go to the Hells. In that, which case we'd only have to deal with her 2 sisters and her mother, which is already quite a tall order. As a matter of fact, I think there's an argument to seeing if we could just bait the sisters out themselves. But I think it's a conversation to be had with the larger party. I haven't,
Very
again,
well.
brought this up to the group as a whole, because I still want to see if I can break the enchantment on Oshin and Tati, or at the very least lessen it, if that's what I'm capable of. I didn't want to bring it up to the group as a whole if someone was immediately going to run to her and tell her everything that's happening.
I would say I'm quite confident. The dragon orb has shaken my confidence a little bit. I don't believe that any member of our party, and certainly not me, would go running to Kendall. I think if Kendall were to show up here in front of me, I'm not sure. I can't say confidently what I would or would not tell her if she asked me to. None of us are. I feel very confident that none of us are in her thrall, except for. Well, no, it wouldn't be. So the original encounters with her, it was all of us except for you and Oshin, and Ermenos excluded, of course, because Ermenos has, at least as far as we know, not met Kendall, at least not with us. it's possible that in our brief encounter, with was Oshin part of the party yet? When
Oshin has met her. Yes, Oshin was there.
Okay, Oshin. Okay, I don't know if Oshin's been charmed by her. I think she needs physical contact in order to do that.
They definitely touched, and he seemed to warm up to
Oh.
her significantly faster than at least I
Okay.
did.
He ate the cookies, yeah.
I can't
In
promise,
speak.
but I think at this point a brick charm wouldn't hurt.
I don't disagree. I would say that the other party members, myself included, have all beheld Kendall in the Fortress of Crimson Glass. And that inner knowledge of what she truly is, I think, at least for me, and I imagine it's true for the rest of the party, provides at least some level of protection against the worst of her charms, because we know what she truly is. If Oshin has not had that experience, it's possible he's slightly more vulnerable than the rest of us. But I couldn't pretend to read his mind or predict his actions.
In that case, in case he is charmed, because we're still not sure, I think we should lead with the break enchantment, and then maybe we could use the Stone of Chronicles to give him a glimpse of the same experience.
That's an idea. That is definitely an idea. We also just have the telepathic bond, so we could just share our own memories. It would be useful for you to see them as well. I'm just reading the chat. I forgot that she showed up when we were getting our buffs from all of our people that we'd met before going into the island. I forgot she showed up.
That's still incredibly terrifying to me that she showed up. That speaks a lot. But anyway, it's fine. My biggest worry is that this group is going to try and use her in terms of she'll want to use us to maybe kill her sisters and her mother to gain power. I feel like that's one of the worst situations, to be entirely honest, especially since the group seems very receptive to her.
That's the kind of thing that I definitely could see myself being convinced to do for her if I didn't know it was coming. And yeah, it's things like that I think our group is definitely still in the realm of possibility that she could convince us to act in her interests without really realizing it. That's definitely a danger still.
I think we need to clear Oshin and Tati as much as we are capable of. Discuss it as a group as to what our next steps are, share all the information we have, because like I said, there is some information. And then honestly, I think we need to speak with Isaac. He brokered this deal. I think understanding what that deal is could be really good. If you're only safe until you don't take actions against her, and then you just are fully her thrall, that's something that we need to know.
You're right. That's a good thing that I hadn't considered. That it's possible that Kendall is withholding her magic or her alluring powers to some extent just because of the deal that was made. Yeah, that would be worth knowing exactly what was said, because being in the hells, the exact words may have more power in limiting what she can do.
And fiends are not too dissimilar when it comes to deals. You never know what can happen.
I am all too aware. Yes, I think. Well, firstly, thank you for giving me a dose of the old antibodies against being charmed. I'm sure that's not going to hurt in the long run, to just have a little extra insulation. And At least if for the moment, I definitely feel like I'm very much in control of my own actions. So I trust you in this matter to lead the charge. And if there are things you choose not to tell me because you're not sure you can trust me with information or tactics, I think it may be wise to keep your cards close to your chest. And I promise that I will not resent or begrudge you if you decide that the best course of action is to withhold information from me or from the other members of the party, because that may be a very wise course of action in acting against Kendall.
I really do appreciate that, Bryn. I've been keeping this secret for a while. Just like concerned about Kendall. I have lied to the party on occasion about things, and sometimes I feel like all these lies and withholding things, like I'm acting like I know what's best, and I don't always. I'm just kind of trying to make things right and trying to do the right thing, and I trust the group. But at the end of the day, there are also times where you have to trust that you guys also are not in a situation where you can handle information due to mental effects or something else. And I do feel that. I do trust you all, and I do want you all to know everything, but I also fear the harm that can come if you know everything happening.
I think caution is wise in this instance, and yes, I think you've acted wisely so far. So, shall we go back?
Yeah, well, I still got one more in the system right now. I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to hit Tati. She's currently holding a ceremony to all the people who passed away here. Could be a time to get her, just with Oshin not there. Again, I don't want, if there is a stronger charm effect on anyone, to not have cast the spell first.
That is fair. Let me know if there's anything I can do to assist you in that matter. Although I think you're perfectly capable of taking care of that on your own.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I guess we'll head back. I'm happy to do the scene with Tati. I also feel like it is owed to Tati, but I also feel bad about everyone else sitting here and not getting a chance to interact. I'm happy to maybe also push that to early next session if we want to do it. But
what we're going to do is we're actually going to check in on everybody else real quick here. Coin, how well is your rope swing going?
Good question.
Can you get your athletics or acrobatics check, please?
I can do that. I was gonna roll 1d100 and see how many times he can use it before it breaks.
Of course. 76 times.
It'll last a while.
Yeah, it'll last a while.
And as for how flashy,
very
19. He's doing some cartwheels into the water.
Awesome. Fun.
And he runs out of it going.
Awesome. Cool. Ruzid and Oshin, how's your house coming along?
What kind of check is that? Is that
you are piling rocks. You have no mortar. It will not be nice. How many rocks have you put together, though?
You can do all these fancy spells. You can bend the weave to your will, and we're just stacking rocks right now.
Wow. Nag.
That's what happens if you sign up for a relationship with Ruzid. It's just the truth, man.
Oh, dude. I hope that's not real life.
I was initially scrolling to see if I had any spells that would work to mend the rocks together, but I'm just going to keep scrolling to know if I know silence instead.
Wow. All right. Okay. So while they have a large
he's just peeking at the book, and he's going to do an Arcana check.
Sure.
Because he does know some Arcana.
I don't know silence, but they'll put. Yeah, I feel like it would be going. I don't know if that would be athletics or
you guys can just. How big of a space do you want to put rocks around?
You're the architect.
I'm not
here.
trying to build a house. I'm just trying to lay the foundation to build almost like a grand hallway, like a
Okay, so you're just putting
multi-purpose
rocks
room,
next
or
to each
like-
other.
like a gym NPR type place,
Understood.
like a giant rectangle to start.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. So, Oshin is making a large rectangle. We'll say you're about a quarter through. Hermenos, what have you been up to?
Hermanos has just been finding a shady spot to relax in, maybe sunbathe a little bit, and then if and when night falls, he will start to get his navigator's tools out and use the stars to just kind of figure out where exactly we are in the first place.
I just want to note, shady spot is interesting on the island with no trees.
He can get on the shadowy
Cloud
side.
overhead.
Yeah, the shadowy side of the island.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
Like there's shadows like on the image right there.
Yeah.
Very far away. They're very far apart, but they're there.
Who knows the scale, you know?
Yep. All right. And Tati, how are your ceremonies coming along?
My dearly departed cousin Arvid was an artist. He made murals on the long, very long stone walls that enclose cemeteries. I am wearing his mask and using my newly purchased masonry tools to carve a pictorial representation of all of the creatures who lived, unlived, died in recent memory. Everything from the what do you call elementals to the humans that didn't want to be here, to the giants that were throwing rocks, to soldiers that again probably didn't really want to be here, to the students and the professors and the undead monsters, all the way down to a dragon. And it's just like skull representations of like what their, I don't know what like an elemental skull would be, but like a skull for each type of person that we encountered. And it's skull on top of skull on top of skull, overlooking this crater.
Okay. Awesome. So, as Sason and Bryn return, you guys can all recollect together. After all, Bryn hasn't made dinner yet.
What's he been doing this whole time?
You go 3 strength Bryn.
We've all been working. Like, where's dinner?
Oh, you're serious? Yeah, we were just doing some scouting. Yeah, I'll get on dinner.
Okay. What's for dinner today, Bryn?
Oh God, I don't know. What do we have?
All I know is he's definitely spitting in Toddy's food.
Probably depends. Given that we've learned that there's no life on the island anywhere close to us, I guess
We have 17
that...
peeps. We have some cake of silence. We have a lot of salt. And meat is limited going off of the bag of holding.
Oh, I refreshed the peeps. I threw out the old ones and got new ones. I just couldn't fix the
Wonderful.
bag of holding because you were in it.
Yeah, I do be resaving it every 20 seconds. But yeah, it would come down to Bryn's personal supplies because I think the shared resources are very limited food-wise.
So, Bryn, is this ration surprise once again?
I think it has to be. We'll do our best with the tools we have, but yeah, I think we're just stuck with whatever is unless somebody has create food and water prepared, that we can season it up and make it a bit more interesting. Yeah, we're gonna have to use whatever rations we have.
Okay.
I haven't prepared that spell since you guys were mean to me about it.
So
We don't want to eat that.
go ahead and scratch one ration off your character sheets. Yes, sir.
Eric, does the water here have a flavor? Like a particular flavor?
The water here has been cycled out since the explosion, so
I suppose so.
it's
Wait, even
very
up
salty.
here?
Yeah.
Huh.
The tide has come in and out 3 times, 4 times, something like that.
Yeah, but we're presumably 300 feet elevated.
In there, it tastes like sulfur, like rotten eggs.
That's what I was asking.
Oh, yeah, up there, yeah.
Post-explosion water.
No, up there, that's nasty. That tastes like water from Indiana.
Coin just walks up to you guys, no context, says, "Do not recommend it."
For the record, I have family that lives in Indiana, and I hate drinking the water when I go to visit them.
I believe it.
Coin,
I'm all for
did you
bashing Indiana
think
in any context.
Hey, you're not far from there, sir.
Except for a wedding once. It was alright.
Physically, yes. In every other, physically, no. In every other aspect.
Does the water up there also taste like rotten eggs or smell like rotten eggs?
That's fine.
It's fine. Okay. That was a very hand-wavy answer. Understood.
Don't drink it. It's fine.
All right. So, you guys are able to have your ration surprise and take your short rest, recover.
Bryn, how do you make it into such a perfect square of protein?
Just like Wendy's makes
Oh,
their
you got
burgers.
the protein square?
Oh.
I got the chunks and gravy.
Chunks and gravy. Someone's ex-military.
I got crumbs.
Crumbs. That's I mean, that one's not bad if you can mix it with the like packaged preserves, like the
I was just gonna
jelly preserves.
soak it in the water because it's really dry.
Oh, make like a little cake out of it.
I was thinking like a soup, just kind of mash it up.
I was
Crumb
hoping to
soup.
get the pizza brick, but this'll go.
All right. Cool. So,
Did
as you
anyone get the chocolate-covered chocolate balls?
Oh, I swear.
Wait, what are they called? They're the chocolate-covered chocolate discs. The very
wafers?
not
Yeah.
M&M's.
yeah, Coin has those, and Coin, would you deny it, or are you going to keep those?
You would say, so what if I do?
I will trade you my whole IOU for a handful of the chocolate discs.
Coin looks at the chocolate discs and then at your IOU. And then the chocolate discs. You get half. Half for half.
Half for half. I tear my IOU in half and hand it to him.
And you have.
No,
Yeah,
it just says IO.
IO. Really, it says IC when you
Yeah,
think about
IC.
it.
There you go.
He pockets it.
Okay. Awesome. So, as you guys sit down and finish your dinner, is there anything else you'd like to do today? Before the sun goes down here in about 2 hours.
Oh yeah, one thing. He skips a rock 3 paces.
Okay. Bing, bing, bing.
I should clarify, he skips a chunk of his protein brick. 3
Understood.
cases.
If there were any fish here, they would have eaten it.
I think it's dissolved in the acid lake well before hitting the bottom anyways.
Awesome. Cool.
But yeah, no other actions for coin.
Yeah, I mean, I do still have 1 spell slot left for the big spell, so I would look for a time when Oshin or Tati are kind of a little bit separate from the other, either way, and try to have a conversation with them.
Sure.
Similar
So-
to earlier. Again, happy to hand wave it or happy to redo it.
So, as a question for Oshin, would there be a time where you are separated from your beloved?
No, it's fine if he's with Ruthin. I just need Tati and Oshin to not be near each other.
Tati and Oshin, would you at any point be separated?
I am spending all my time around the center of this island just working on the foundation for the structure I'm building.
Okay.
So it's just whether or not Tati is not there.
Tati, are you interested in the foundation of this structure as Oshin is moving rocks?
Well, I've recently come to know about masonry work. But unless Oshin's gonna let me carve pictures into it, I'm not particularly interested.
Oshin, will you allow her to carve
Oh.
pictures into your foundation?
Only on the inside.
In that case, I'm over here carving doodles onto the inside of.
Saison, it appears you are going to have a severe challenge in this case.
That is fair. I'm not in a crazy rush because I still need Bryn up to date anyway. So I might instead go to the others and subtly let everybody know that I hit Bryn with the magic dispel and got him up to date. And also that I have more information from Rafina, so I'm actually allowed to talk about that, but we can debrief at another time once I actually get Tati and Oshin dispelled.
Do you tell Hermenos?
You know, that's such a good question. No, not yet.
Not yet? Hermenos,
I'm so sorry,
you
Hermenos.
see
I really
Saison ducking around and not talking to you, but talking to other people. Is there any response to that, Hermenos?
Just watch him curiously.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, as the sun sets, the shadows get long, the sky turns a nice deep crimson. As this place is bathed in a wondrous light, the witching hour passes. You guys will need to figure out a place to stay.
I am not sleeping in this water.
Bryn has the tiny hut spell, which we can cast to make a shelter. We would need to have bedrolls or something else soft to sleep on.
I mean, I've got a bedroll. I also have 1 charge of the mansion currently available. So the question is, do we want to try and save up charges, or do we just want to burn it for a good night's rest?
I think we can rough it a little bit. With bedrolls and tiny hut, I think is just because the mansion is such a valuable resource, and like we're pretty safe here because nothing's alive. The only dangerous thing that we found in our scouting was the skull, which we have. I think we can just put up a tiny hut and call it a day.
Okay.
Agreed.
Cool. Are you guys setting watches, or are you all just going to be comfortable in the tiny hut?
Well, for what it's worth, Coin is going to run to the fresh water that's been cycled, which is
Sure.
going to be a bit of a hike.
The fresh salt water? Yes.
So you could see, the fresh salt water. You could say he's kind of on watch during this kind of
Sure.
odyssey to go fill his bucket and then walk back.
We're not going to call it an odyssey because you won't get back for like 40 years. But this excursion, yes.
A Middacy. Yes, he will keep tabs, kind of scouting the area. I would call that a watch. It's not
Sure.
I would even say it's maybe a disadvantage for
Sure.
a perception check.
Let's go ahead and roll that then. As I'm not hearing anyone else volunteering.
It's not letting me do at advantage, so just the 22.
All right. So
So
with
I mean, I would also do a separate one, but yeah.
okay. Let's go ahead and get yours as well. Because you only have to sleep for 4 hours, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I would have just been
I think we
out and
lost
about after
Tati.
that.
All right. Thank you, Sayson. Coin. In the middle of the night, as you are lugging your bucket back up to the camp, you will see a distant streak of golden light far to the south near the horizon. It's way up in the sky, and it hides behind a couple clouds before disappearing far off to the west.
Sort of cocks his head at it. Coin does particularly love kind of beautiful guys. Does a lot of paintings of them, so I think he will memorize that moment. But it doesn't sound like he will know entirely what he's looking at.
It's far too distant.
But he will make note.
Awesome. Cool. So
I even would wager he'd probably sketch that on a piece of paper from memory
sure,
after returning.
that's valid. So you guys can go ahead and get the benefits of a long night's rest. And we'll wake up the next morning next week here on the Toivoan Trainwreck.
Yeah.
We'll figure out where you guys go from here. I'm going to ask you guys to stick around for a few moments after the session so I can figure out where you guys plan to go so that I can prepare content for you guys. But otherwise, guys, have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. If you know someone who wants to play one of my games, send them my way. I'd love to talk to them. Do check out the dice sets that we have over at gmeric.com right on the front page. We have 3 different kinds: the Mosaba dice, the Snowflake Sparkle dice, and the Frostblood dice. Those are all up there, and they are really, really cool. The D20s on those are oversized, and they are exceedingly sharp-edged. So if you like cool dice, go check those out. And they do come with a metal dice vault, which is cool. Otherwise, guys, have a wonderful night. Please stay safe, and we'll catch you guys later.